menu?
No, ma'am. I know just what I want. Chocolate soda.
Make that 2.
And that's with chocolate syrup and chocolate ice cream.
Right.
You know, I've been meaning to come to this place for the longest kind of time. I hear they got real good sodas.
Look quick. What's the matter? Yeah, it's Bunny, Sergeant Carter's girl.
And she's not with Sergeant Carter.
Yeah, how about that?
Shh.
Gee, I've really got to think it over. I'm just not sure.
Well, you can imagine I'd like to know as soon as possible.
Well, it's such an important decision. I mean, it's not the kind of thing a girl does too often.
I'll tell you what. Take a day to think it over. I'll meet you tomorrow night, same time, same place, okay?
Okay.
Shh. Did you hear that, Duke? Did you hear it?
Yeah, looks like the sergeant's in for a little competition.
Poor Sergeant Carter. I wonder if he knows.
All right, you people, listen up and listen good. Corporal Boyle is going to take you physical recs for your daily dozen. And I don't want no dropouts. Is that clear? No dropouts. For once in your chubby little knock-kneed lives, you're going to do them exercises and do them right, or I'm going to know the reason why. Hey! What's the matter with you, Pyle? You got something to say?
Yes, I do, Sergeant. And it's this. There's just as good a fish in the sea as ever come out of.
Huh? Or huh? All right, Pyle, what is it now?
There are all kinds of fellers in this world, Sergeant, but a good man is hard to find. You think about that for a while. It ought to make you feel real good.
Wait a minute. All right, now, what's with you, Pyle? You've been looking at me all day.
How?
Yeah, like I got one foot in the grave or something.
Oh, no, Sergeant, it's not nearly that bad.
Look, Pyle, you got something to say it.
Okay, I will. Women are like buses. If one goes past, there'll be another along in a little while.
Pyle! Get in here on the double. All right now, Pyle. I want to know what this is all about, and right now.
Well,
come on, this stupid nonsense has been going on long enough. Now let's hear it.
Well, I sure wished you wouldn't ask me, Sergeant.
I am asking you, Pyle. Let's have it.
Well, all right. But just remember one thing. The game's not over till the last man's out. And that other fella could be out, and you'd be back in just like that.
What other fella? What are you talking about?
I think I've said too much already.
No, you haven't. Now, you start at the beginning and fast.
Well, Sergeant,
And talk!
Well, it was last night at Tony's.
You mean that joint over on 4th Street?
That's the place. They got the best chocolate sodas in town there. A whole lot better than the Bluebird Cafe. I think it's 'cause they use twice as much syrup. Well, I'll see you, Sergeant.
Pyle, what happened at Tony's?
Well, right after Duke and me sat down and ordered, I happened to look up and I saw Miss Bunny and this other feller sitting over in the corner all by themselves.
Bunny? With what fella?
It's a real nice looking feller, kind of blonde hair, wavy, and had a real nice smile, lots of teeth. Well, I'll see you, Sergeant.
Hold it. Lots of teeth and what? And what?
Well, like I was saying, there they was sitting all scrunched up next to each other, talking real serious-like.
Yeah? About what? You happen to hear?
I did hear 'em plan to meet again tonight, same place, same time, and she said she'd give 'em her answer then.
An answer, huh?
I sure am sorry, Sergeant, that I had to be the one to tell you this.
Forget it.
You mean you're not upset?
Not at all.
Well, how come?
How come? Because Bunny and me don't have any secrets from each other. None whatsoever, in any shape, size, or form. You got that?
Right, Sergeant, if you say so.
All right, you get back to your duties and keep your nose where it belongs.
Right. And, Sergeant, I sure am sorry I was the one that had to tell you Miss Bunny was stepping out on you.
Out! 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 Out!
What do you make of it, Vince? You really think Pyle saw Bunny out with this guy?
Who cares? Either way, I'm not about to lose any sleep over it.
I gotta say, you don't seem very concerned about it.
Well, you know Pyle and that imagination of his, no telling what he saw.
Hey, isn't this where Pyle...
Yeah.
So what are we doing here?
Well, Pyle said they were coming back here again tonight, and I just want to give him the benefit of the doubt, that's all. You know, so I got all the facts when I settle his hash for good.
Well, shall we?
No, over here. Around this way. We don't want to sit on an order. Be a lot quicker this way.
What do you see, Vince?
Just like I thought. Looks like we wasted a lot of time.
No Romeo and Juliet, huh?
Didn't I tell you? I never believed it right from the beginning.
So I see.
Yeah, that Pyle. You know what he is? A big-mouth old lady. Gomer the gossip. I'll tell you something else. When I get my hands on it...
Vince, come here.
Huh?
Look over there in the corner.
It's true.
Sure looks that way, doesn't it?
It's true, just like Pyle said. Wavy hair. Big smile. Lots of teeth.
Looks like he's giving us something.
So he gave her a present. Big deal. Come on, let's get out of here.
Vince, don't you think you ought to go in there and find out what it's about?
What for?
Well, maybe there's a good explanation.
You mean walk in and just stand there? While Bunny says, "I'm sorry, Vince. I've been so busy I didn't have time to write you a Dear John letter." That would make a nice scene. I'd have so much egg on my face I wouldn't eat breakfast for a week.
Okay, so don't go in. Play it your own way.
Yeah, that's just what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play it my own way. What Bunny don't know is that two can play at this game.
Okay, that's it. I'll see you guys after chow 1300. Here's.
Hey, Sarge, telephone!
Yeah, who is it?
I'll give you 3 guesses.
Oh, it is it? Well, what do you know about that? And I know just what she wants. Hello? Oh, hi, Bunny. How are you?
Listen, Vince, I'm sorry I had to break our date last night, but...
Oh, that's all right, Bunny. No problem. What did you have to do, anyway?
Oh, you know, same old thing. My boss wanted me to stay in, work overtime again.
Had to work, huh? Oh, well, I guess you got no complaints. I mean, from what you tell me, he's a real jewel of a guy. You know, with all them little fringe benefits, huh?
I knew you'd understand, Vince. But listen, I can make it tonight for sure, if you're free.
Oh, what a shame. Wouldn't you know, I gotta work tonight.
Oh, that is a shame.
Yeah?
Well, I haven't seen you in a little while, and we got things to talk about, and...
Yeah. Well, maybe another night, huh? Sure thing, Bunny. We'll be talking. Sure. Real soon. Bye. Sure we will.
What's this about having to work tonight?
Yeah. I got a real big job lined up. A real big job. By the name of Shirley Sokolic.
Hey, you really are playing the game, aren't you?
You bet you're sweet. Hey, is that you, Shirley? Vince Carter. Yeah. Hiya, babe. How are things in the bakery? I'll bet you're just rolling in dough, right? Can you talk? Good. I just want to know if you still remember our little date for tonight. Oh, good. Huh? Yeah, well, you're real cute, too. I'll say. Right down to the dimples. Okay, doll. Just leave everything to old Vince. Kiss, kiss.
I don't get it.
What? What don't you get?
If Bunny calls to tell you that she's free, what are you making another date for?
Do you know what Bunny called for? Do you have any idea why she wants this date tonight? It's kiss-off time. She wants to tell me how sorry she is, but... Well, I'm not letting her have the satisfaction. No, sir.
You sure, huh?
Yeah, I'm sure. And you know what else I'm sure of? There are a lot of good fish in the sea. And a good man is hard to find. And something else. Revenge is sweet. And with a little help from Pyle, it's going to be sweeter and sweeter. Hey, Pyle. Wait a minute. Wait up. Hey, Pyle, could you do me a favor?
Well, sure, Sergeant. Be glad to.
You got anything on tonight?
No, I was just going into town and returning some library books.
Good, good. I'll tell you why, Pyle. I just got a call from Bunny.
You got a call? You got a call? Well, hallelujah.
Anyway, she's free tonight.
I just knew it, Sergeant. I just knew it. It was a matter of time, Zal. Just a matter of time.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled, Sergeant. I am thrilled.
Yeah, well, so am I, but the only trouble is I've got a problem. Bunny's free tonight, but I'm not. I gotta stay and work.
Oh, that's a shame, Sergeant.
Yeah, it just breaks my heart to think of Bunny sitting at home alone all night.
I don't know what you mean.
Which is where you come in, Pyle. That is, if you're willing to lend me a helping hand.
Oh, anything, Sergeant, anything at all. You just name it.
Good. I knew I could depend on you. Now, here's $10. I want you to take Bunny out tonight and show her the time she deserves, okay?
Well, it'd be an honor, Sergeant. It'd be an honor looking after Miss Bunny for a person as unselfish as you are.
Thanks, Pyle. And don't spare the horses. Treat her like a queen. Hey, what's today, Wednesday? That means broiled lamb chops. Perfect.
Beg your pardon?
The blue plate special at the Bluebird Cafe. It's broiled lamb chops, and Bunny's just crazy about them. Especially the way the Bluebird fixes them up in them cute little pants.
That's right, they do. Blue for men and pink for the ladies.
Oh, by the way, I'm so far behind schedule, you better call Bunny and set it up yourself. Say around 8 o'clock? That way she'll have plenty of time to get ready.
Well, sure, Sergeant. I'd be glad to.
Thanks, Pyle. You're a real buddy, you know that?
Don't you worry, Sergeant. I'll take real good care of Miss Bunny for you. You can count on me.
Yeah. Well, so long, Pyle, and have a good time, huh? Don't forget, broiled lamb chops at the Bluebird.
And, Sergeant?
Yeah?
You can bet we'll both be thinking about you tonight, 'cause it ain't easy to forget somebody that's 9 feet tall like you are.
Yeah.
I still say this wasn't necessary, Gomer. I had sewing to do and a lot of ironing and...
I know, Miss Bunny, but Sergeant Carter just didn't think it was fair for you to have to stay home alone just 'cause he was busy.
Ah, that's Vince for you, the big teddy bear.
I sure am glad you feel that way. Oh, this is for you.
Gosh, Vince, it's really been a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah, too long. What I want to know is if you're still as ticklish as you used to be.
Don't even talk about it.
You mean like this?
You are so terrible, don't you?
You should know, baby, now. You should know.
Hey, Sergeant.
What do you want, Pyle?
Sergeant, you remember you said you had to work tonight?
That's right, so?
So, I took Miss Bunny to the Bluebird Cafe like you suggested. The only trouble was that we saw you there. Miss Bunny and I saw you there with a lady friend.
Okay, Pyle, okay, I'll level with you. If anybody's entitled to the facts, you are.
Huh?
Pyle, you saw me there with another dame tonight, all right? On purpose. You want to know why?
Yes, sir, if you want to tell me.
Because you were right about Bunny and that wavy-haired, pearly-toothed friend of hers. I saw them meeting last night at Tony's, just like you said they'd be. And you want to know what else I saw? I saw him giving her some kind of jewel box, the kind that rings come in.
And she took it?
You bet your sweet life she took it. And I wasn't just seeing things either. You can check with Boyle. He was with me.
Well, why in the world would she do a thing like that?
I don't know. But I'll tell you this much, I ain't about to be nobody's patsy.
I just don't understand it, Sergeant. I just don't understand it.
Believe me, Pyle, I had to do it to show her she ain't the only mackerel in the sea. You understand, don't you?
Yes, sir. It's just that I feel so bad for both of you.
Yeah, well, that's life, I guess. You think you got no secrets to somebody and whammo. Well, I'll tell you something. No one dame's gonna make me walk the gangplank. What do they say? C'est la vie? It means don't bother holding your breath, just live it up. And that's what I'm gonna do from here on in. Just live it up. Let's face it, Pyle, the bushes are full of bunnies.
Well, I guess I better go, Sergeant. And good luck to you with your c'est la vie. I sure am sorry we saw that picture show, Duke. It reminded me so much of Sergeant Carter and Miss Bunny, especially the part where that trapper got that Dear John letter right out of the blue.
Come on, Gomer, will you knock it off about the sergeant? You want to spoil my appetite?
For shame, Duke. You know you don't mean that.
You're right. Right now, nothing could spoil my appetite.
Duke, it's just like it was last time. Did you see that, Duke? Did you see that?
Yeah, so? Hey, where you going?
I've got to find Sergeant Carter and I haven't got a minute to lose. I know he's around here somewheres. I think I know where. Well, there's for the water I drank.
I'll tell you something else. I've been in too many tight spots to let one dame wrap me up. You gotta play it so that they never get the feeling they own you. Because once they think they own you, you're dead. Right, Johnny?
You want another beer?
You look like a guy with some understanding. What do you think? Are they trouble or are they trouble?
Sergeant? Sergeant Carter.
Huh?
Wait till you hear. Just wait till you hear.
Huh? Wait till I hear what?
I just saw Miss Bunny.
So you saw Bunny. Big deal. What do you want, a medal?
But you don't understand, Sergeant. She was with that other feller.
Oh, swell. That's just swell, Pyle. It's not enough that the wound is still open. You gotta come around and rub salt in it.
But that's not the best part, Sergeant. The ring you saw, well, Miss Bunny was giving it back to him.
Huh?
It's true. Duke and me went into Tony's a while ago, and there was Miss Bunny giving it back to him.
Really? Oh, well, that's nice.
And she was as sad as could be, Sergeant, just as sad as could be.
How about that?
I just knew it'd work out. I just knew it.
Yeah, well, it figured, didn't it?
Well, Sergeant, are you just gonna sit there?
Why not? If Bunny wants to call me, she knows my number at the duty hut. If she wants back in, let her come to me.
No, Sergeant, no.
Ah, come on, Pyle. You gotta admit she's got a lot of explaining to do. A lot of explaining.
That's not the way, Sergeant. That's not the way at all. The human thing to do would be to make up with Miss Bunny right now while she's feeling low.
Really? Well, I felt pretty low myself once upon a time, remember? Oh, you should have seen me.
But, Sergeant, you could show what a big person you are if you'd go to Miss Bunny right now while she probably needs you. You know what they say, to err is human, and I just know that you're the kind that'll forgive.
Yeah, maybe you got a point. Now that she's learned her lesson, no use turning the knife. There's one thing about me, I'm no sadist. Well, so long, Charlie. It looks like the worm has turned. You see? It all works out in the wash, don't it? About dames, I mean. You just can't figure them, right?
I just know she's home, Sergeant. One look at her face and you could tell she was gonna rush right home.
Okay, Pyle. You set it up, but I'll stay out of sight until just the right moment. You know, really give her a kick, huh?
Right, Sergeant. She's home, all right.
Gomer.
Hey, Miss Bunny.
Gomer, what are you doing here?
I've got good news for you, Miss Bunny. I just saw Sergeant Carter, and guess what? He's willing to forgive and forget.
He's willing to forgive and forget. Is that what you said?
That's right. You see, I saw what happened at Tony's tonight, and when I told Sergeant Carter that you'd busted up with that fella you sweet on...
What fella?
See, there's just like I told Sergeant Carter. He's plumb out of your mind already, hardly more than an hour after you give his ring back to him.
Ring? You mean you...
Sergeant Carter knew all about it. He saw you accepting it through the window of the restaurant the other night. That's the reason he went out with that Miss Shirley. But that's all over now.
Oh, so that's it, huh? And you say your dear, sweet, understanding sergeant is ready to forgive and forget. Well, that's just peachy. But you can go back and tell him I'm not the slightest bit interested, not the slightest bit.
Ma'am?
Gomer, do you know who that man was you two have been seeing me with? Do you? That was Herman Hadler of Hadler Jewelers. He was nice enough to meet me at night because I couldn't get off from work. And do you know why? Because I wanted to get Vince something nice for his birthday instead of the usual aftershave cologne. Something real nice, like a $75 star sapphire ring. Oh, but not anymore. I couldn't give it back to Mr. Hadler fast enough after what your sweet sergeant did to me. So you can just tell him for me I don't want to see him today, tomorrow, or forever. Now, goodbye.
Pyle, did anybody ever tell you you got a big mouth? Are you sure, Pyle? You sure Bunny said you'd be here?
On your birthday, Sergeant? Why, Miss Bunny wouldn't miss that for the world.
Well, yeah, I know, but considering what happened, you know, the way she hit the ceiling.
Believe me, Sergeant, you don't have a thing to worry about. When I took the liberty to call Miss Bunny and invite her down here, I told her the whole story. I told her how everything was my fault from the beginning, every single thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'd say that's only fair now that you mention it.
So mark my words, Sergeant, Miss Bunny will be here. Golly, just look for yourself, Sergeant, just look for yourself.
Ah, you made it, baby. Honest to gosh, made it.
Well, you knew I couldn't stay away. Not after Gomer called and explained, right, Gomer?
Yes, ma'am. Well, aren't you going to sit down or nothing?
Yeah, why don't we all sit down, huh?
Happy birthday, Vince.
Oh, Bunny, you shouldn't have. Considering the jerk I made out of myself.
So I should have my head examined. Go on, take it.
Well, give me a little hint first, huh?
No.
Oh, come on, just one. Like, is it bigger or smaller than my pinky?
Happy birthday, Vince.
I got you something too, Sergeant.
Oh. Shaving cologne?
Kyle, I got the very same thing. If I'd known you was gonna get that, we could have gone in together and gotten him a half-gallon size. That's right.
At ease. I called you platoon leaders here because I need your full cooperation. I've just been informed that a very close friend of mine will be coming out from Washington at the end of this week on official business. And, well, considering how many years we served together in the same outfit before he went civilian, I'd like your suggestions as to how to make his welcome an extra special one.
Well, sir, I think
Colonel, I think the first thing we ought to do is to paint the huts top to bottom right down the company line. It would smarten up the area considerably, and since it's one of our coming projects, why not do it right now?
Yes, an excellent idea, Hacker.
Well, sir, I think...
Another thing, sir, knowing how the colonel probably has a big inspection in mind, I think we ought to paint the inside of each and every barracks. Get them looking real sharp.
Good, Hacker. Very good.
I think maybe we ought to...
Another thing, sir, last but not least, I suggest that we GI all the floors with steel wool. Get them nice and white, just like they was new.
Another good idea, Hacker. You're right on the ball. Sergeant Carter, you wanted to add something?
Not anymore, sir.
Well, then, tomorrow morning, I'll expect each of you men to take Sergeant Hacker's suggestions to heart and start getting your respective areas in tip-top shape. Is that clear?
Aye, aye, sir.
Good. That'll be all. Dismissed.
You really know how to butter the brass, don't you, Hacker?
What are you talking about, Vince?
You know darn well what I'm talking about. Flapping your jaw in there like there was nobody else around. Why don't you let somebody else get a word in?
Now, can I help it if I think fast on my feet and you're slow?
You was hogging the floor is all, just hogging it.
Oh, there was one other thing. Do either of you have any ideas in the way of some sort of welcoming sign? Nothing elaborate.
Well, I was
We can build a wooden framework in the shape of an archway and decorate it, sir.
Yes, maybe so. Very good, Hacker, very good.
You see, Vince, you're just slow, that's all. You don't think fast on your feet.
All right, you see them buckets of paint? Now I want you to get busy and paint them barracks as fast as your little hands will go. And I want it looking good, too. Any questions?
Sergeant?
I might have known. Let me guess, Pyle. You don't know which end of the brush to use, right?
No, Sergeant.
You don't like the color. It's too drab. Or maybe you had in mind wallpaper.
No, Sergeant, I like it just fine. I just wondered if this is a special kind of paint that dries fast.
Huh?
On account if it's not, it's going to streak something awful.
Pyle, what are you talking about? How's it going to streak?
From the rain, Sergeant, from the rain.
Rain? From what rain?
Oh, it's going to rain today, Sergeant. It's going to rain like everything.
From where? The sun? It's going to rain from the sun?
Well, all I know, Sergeant, is it's going to rain. You can take my word for it.
Oh, really, Pyle? You're positive, huh?
Yes, sir. But I can check it again. May I?
Oh, yes. Maybe you ought to do that.
Excuse me, Sergeant. Yep, it's gonna rain.
What was that?
That's how I tell if it's gonna rain.
What are you, some kind of nut?
Sergeant, you see,
Okay, knock it off. Now that we've had our little laugh for today, we got some work to do. Let's get with it.
Okay, you guys, grab a bucket and a brush and let's go on the double. Come on.
Move. Let's go.
I sure hope it don't streak too badly, Sergeant.
Pyle, I'm warning you. If you don't get busy and grab a brush.
Yes, sir. If that's what you want, that's just what I'll do. Even if it is gonna rain.
He's putting me on. That's what he's doing. He's putting me on.
Sure is weird.
How do you think he is with earthquakes? You think he can do floods or volcanoes? What was that?
Sounded like thunder.
You sure? You sure there isn't artillery practice today?
No, it sounded like... Vince, it's raining.
Get him inside! All right, you guys inside! Come on, let's go! Boom! Everybody inside!
I told you, Sergeant. I told you. Didn't I tell you it was gonna rain?
Get inside! Come on, move!
Hey, Vince!
What do you want, Hacker?
You mean to tell me you were gonna paint outside today? Didn't you know it was gonna rain?
No, I didn't, okay?
I thought you'd be smart enough to have your guys working inside. That's where my men are, inside. I tell you what, though, all you gotta do is keep repeating, rain, rain, go away. Come again some other day.
All right, let's get this outdoor plane over to supply and get the indoor stuff. Well, come on, let's move! Come on, let's go, move it! I know, you told me! Out! All right. Now, thanks to supply being closed for inventory, we lost a little ground to the other platoons yesterday. But we're gonna make up for it today. We're gonna make up for it in spades. Now, you may have noticed that Sergeant Hacker and the others have their boys painting outside. But not us. We're gonna be working inside today.
You think we're gonna get more rain, huh, Sarge?
I don't think, Slater. I know. I got the official U.S. weather forecast hot off the teletype at headquarters.
Excuse me, Sergeant.
Later, Pyle.
But, Sergeant...
I said later, Pyle, like in 2 or 3 years, huh? Now, as I was saying before I was so stupidly interrupted, about the weather forecast. Cloudy with light drizzle in the morning, followed by heavy rains in the afternoon.
Wrong.
What was that, Pyle?
Nothing, Sergeant. Nothing at all.
No. Let's hear it, Pyle. Let's hear it from the nitwit corner.
Sergeant, it's gonna be nice and sunny today. Nice and sunny.
Pyle, I thought I read this forecast loud and clear.
Yes, I heard, and I hate to contradict you, Sergeant, but it's not gonna rain today. Fact is, it's gonna be as bright and sunshiny a day as a man could ask for.
Really?
I guess it's all right to paint inside if you want to, but I think it's a shame not to take advantage of such a nice and sunny day.
Listen, Pyle, just because you guessed right about the weather once, don't make you an expert. Now get busy and grab a brush, you hear me?
Yes, sir. I won't say another word. You won't hear another peep out of me.
Move it, move it, move it! And that goes for all of you. Come on, let's clear the decks. Fast and neat, fast and neat. All right, everybody works, everybody paints.
Yep, it's gonna be fair and clear today.
Wow, what a day.
Are you gonna start up now, too?
Hey, Vince. Don't tell me you got your bunch working inside on a beautiful day like this. Oh, yeah, I forgot. You lost some ground yesterday trying to paint outside in the rain. Well, now you hurry up and finish in there, Vincent, you hear?
At the risk of losing my head, Vince, it doesn't look much like it's gonna rain, does it? Just like Pyle said. Couldn't we get the guys outside?
No, we can't. I've already requisitioned the indoor paint for today. We can't get the outdoor stuff now. Besides, when you read the forecast for today, it says it's gonna rain, so I don't have to... Wait a minute. You hear that? That's thunder. It's thunder. It's not thunder?
They're having artillery practice today. Here it is, Vince. Today's official forecast, hot off the press.
Just what I was waiting for. Fair and clear. Yeah, now that's what I call a forecast.
You mean you still trust them after the way they followed you up yesterday, huh?
Look, even the Weather Bureau can make a mistake once in a while, so they blew it yesterday. But they gotta be right today.
I have to admit, it's a beautiful day out.
Right, and we better take advantage of it, too, if we ever want to catch up. Now, here's what I want. I want every living, breathing body outside and painting by 0800 hours.
Right, Vince.
And no sick call. You hear? No sick call. I want everybody out, every last man.
Sergeant?
What do you want?
Well, I know it's none of my business, but I was just wondering where you're planning to paint today.
None of your business? Pyle, it's all of your business. All day it's gonna be all of your business. From 0800 to ad infinitum, if that's what it takes to get them barracks painted.
You mean you're gonna paint outside?
Bingo! Give that man a silver paintbrush. Look at this, Pyle. The official forecast. Fair and clear, a whole day of good weather.
Golly, Sergeant, I don't know about that.
Oh, forgive me. I forgot you got that voodoo business going for you where you can tell the weather. What do you think it's gonna do? Snow?
Well, no, Sergeant.
Oh. Maybe it's gonna sleet. Is that it? It's gonna sleet?
Well, not that neither.
Let's see. What did I leave out? Cyclone, tornado, hurricane? I got it. Monsoon. It's going to monsoon.
No, Sergeant, none of those. You did leave out one, though.
Yeah? Which one?
Hail. It's gonna hail like the very dickens.
Hail? Pyle, is that what you said?
That's right, hail.
Okay, Pyle. What's the gag?
There's no gag, Sergeant. It's just that weather report of yours is wrong, wrong, wrong. It's gonna hail.
10 hut!
As you were. Just making the rounds to see how we're progressing, that's all.
Fine, sir, fine.
I notice your area seems a little behind the others, Sergeant. Any reason?
Oh, well, we got a little held up by the weather the other day, sir, but since it's clear today, we're hitting the outside.
Good, good.
At least that's what the weather forecast says. Let's just hope it doesn't hail. Yes, sir. Private Pyle here was just telling me that he has some other ideas about what the weather's going to do today. Pyle, maybe you'd like to tell the Colonel your own private forecast, huh?
Well, sir, the fact is, it's not gonna be fair today.
No. What is it going to be?
Well, sir, it's gonna hail.
Hail.
That's right, hail.
Well, that's a pretty extraordinary prediction, Private. How did you ever arrive at that?
Well, sir, I just have this sure way of knowing when it's gonna...
What was that?
I don't know, sir. Maybe somebody's throwing stones.
Look, Sergeant, it's hailing. Hail, like I say. Of course, they're not very big. You should see the hail we get back home, Sergeant. Big as eggs, some of them, big as eggs. Not that these ain't just as pretty to look at. Oh, it's a sight. Just like a whole sky full of pure white marble, huh, Sergeant?
Talk about freakish things.
What, Pyle or the hail?
Both.
Yeah. A guy says it's gonna rain and it rains, that's one thing. But when a guy says it's gonna hail, that's forecasting.
Well, what do you think it is? You think he's got a sixth sense?
Oh, he hasn't got any sense. Well, don't you see? Pyle is a country boy. And like all country boys, he can tell the weather. He can't do much else, but he can tell the weather.
Maybe so.
Yeah. Too bad I didn't become a believer sooner.
Huh?
If I'd listened to him a few days ago, I could be ahead of the game and a little bit of a hero with the colonel.
Yeah?
Yeah. And he wouldn't be coming around here asking me why my area is behind the others. I'd be ahead of the others. And why? Because I would have known where to paint because of Pyle.
You mean now you'll listen?
Oh, I'll listen. A man says it's gonna hail, and it hails. I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna take care of that man because he could be valuable. Pyle?
Oh, hey, Sergeant.
Pyle, are you coming down with something?
I don't know, Sergeant. I hope not.
When did you start the sneezing?
Well, it just started last night. It came on kind of sudden-like.
Look, Pyle, maybe you better get over to sick bay and have him take a look at you.
Oh, it's nothing, Sergeant. It's probably just a...
Go on, get on over there. They can maybe kill it before it gets any worse.
Really, Sergeant, it's not necessary. It's just that...
Pyle, get over to sick bay now. That's an order.
Right, Sergeant.
Well, I gotta keep in good shape. After all, I don't want nothing to happen to my prize weather forecaster.
Sergeant Carter?
Yeah?
Orders from the Colonel, Sergeant. He wants to see all platoon leaders in his office right away. I think it's about a change of plans for the outdoor reception tomorrow, now that the revised weather forecast calls for rain.
More rain tomorrow?
All day, according to the reports.
What report?
The U.S. official weather forecasts.
Hey, Sergeant.
Oh, that forecast. Okay, thanks a lot, Corporal. I'll be right over.
I went over to sick bay like you suggested, and guess what?
Listen, I'm glad you're back, Pyle, but you gotta tell me something.
About what happened at sick bay?
No,
well,
I got something very important to ask you. Listen, what's it gonna do tomorrow?
Huh?
Is it gonna rain or what?
Well, to tell you the truth, Sergeant, I hadn't even taken a reading yet.
Oh, well, take a reading, Pyle. Go on, take a reading. Hey, you got enough room? Give him some room, boy. Go on, take a reading.
Okay, Sergeant.
Is this floor okay, Pyle, huh? Can you do it on this floor?
Oh, sure. Floors don't matter.
Oh, good, good. Well, go ahead, Pyle. Take a reading. Shh, hold it down, boy. Just take your time, Pyle. Take your time. Well, what?
It's going to be fair and clear tomorrow.
Are you sure, Pyle? You're absolutely sure?
Yes, Sergeant.
Do it again.
Huh?
Just to make sure, you know.
Well, okay, if you like. Fair weather will prevail tomorrow.
You sure, Pyle? You really sure think, Pyle?
Well, yes, Sergeant, you can count on it, just like the hail.
That's all I wanted to know. That's all I wanted to know. Thanks a million, Pyle.
Don't you want to hear what happened over at sick bay? I mean, with the sneezing and all?
Huh? Oh, yeah, later. I gotta get over to the Colonel's office right now. I'll see you later, Pyle.
What's all the excitement?
What's all the excitement? Them forecasts have been in and out all week, but Pyle's forecasts have been right all week.
Yeah?
Also, I've been losing ground with the Colonel all week. But if I can assure him that he can go ahead and hold his outdoor reception as scheduled, I will suddenly pick up a few points with the Colonel, huh? Right? I mean, anybody can suggest painting the barracks, but when you can tell the Colonel what he can count on in the way of weather, that's suggesting.
I'd say so. Good luck, Vince.
Hey, I wonder how he does that anyway. Sorry, I'm late, sir.
At ease. I was just telling the others that with this forecast for rain tomorrow, it looks like our original plans will have to be changed and the reception for Mr. Nuxley moved indoors.
Oh, well, sir, if we're going to have to hold the reception indoors, may I suggest that we hold the welcoming ceremony inside the company mess hall?
That is a possibility, isn't it?
Yes, you see, that way, sir, we can move all the tables back and line up all the platoons on either side of the doorway leading up to the steam table. Wish we could decorate with bunting and everything.
Yes. How do the rest of you feel about that?
Excuse me, Colonel, Sergeant Hacker, but isn't that a lot of wasted effort to go to all that trouble?
What trouble, Sergeant?
I mean, why bother to move everything inside when it's going to be a beautiful day tomorrow, sir?
Sergeant Carter, you weren't here when I read this revised forecast for rain.
Oh, yes, sir. I heard about that, sir, but I have it from a very good authority that it's going to be fair tomorrow all day.
What do you mean, Sergeant?
Sir, you remember that private that predicted the hailstorm the other day, Pyle?
Yes.
Well, sir, the same private has made a prediction for tomorrow. It's going to be fair and clear. 3 times in a row, he's predicted right when the Weather Bureau was wrong.
Still, that's the official forecast.
3 times, sir, 3 times, and predicting that hailstorm. The colonel was there when he did it.
That was pretty amazing, wasn't it?
Well, let's face it, sir. What kind of reception can you have in the mess hall compared to outside?
Not very exciting, I'll grant you. Maybe it's worth a gamble at that.
Yes, sir. I'd certainly think so, sir. It's pretty good suggesting, isn't it, sir?
Fine, Sergeant. All right, we'll hold the reception outdoors as planned.
But, Colonel, sir, we...
No. Sergeant Carter's made a good point. The Weather Bureau certainly hasn't established itself as the last word in accuracy this past week, so we'll go ahead with the outdoor reception as planned. Dismissed.
Hey, Vince.
Good meeting for a change, huh, Hacker? Short and to the point.
Boy, you're sure going out on a limb, ain't you, Vince?
I got ways of predicting the weather, Hacker, and accurately.
What are you talking about?
Huh? Just thinking fast on my feet, Hacker. That's all. Beautiful day, ain't it, Hacker? Right, Pyle? Beautiful all day?
Yes, sir, Sergeant. You don't have a thing to worry about. Everything's gonna be just perfect, just like I predicted.
Good. That's good, Pyle. Just what I want to hear. Nice day, huh, sir?
I never would have believed it.
Oh, believe me, sir, I never would have chanced it if I wasn't sure. Not for such a big day as this.
Getting a little windy, isn't it?
A little, sir, but at least wind ain't the same thing as rain. And that's what's important, ain't it, sir?
I guess you're right.
Oh, look, sir. Your guest of honor, right on time.
Oh, yes, that's him, all right. All right, Sergeant. Back to your platoon.
Yes, sir.
How about this wind, huh, Vince?
Well, at least it ain't raining, is it?
Baton! Head! Hut!
Let's out! Head! Head!
Permission to come aboard, Ed? Good to see you, Clint. Welcome to Camp Henderson. You really came prepared, Clint. You're expecting a rainstorm?
Well, you know me and my shoulder, Ed. It's been stiff all morning, and if that doesn't mean rain, nothing does.
Go on. I just happen to have a man in my outfit who correctly predicted hail yesterday, and he says it's going to be clear as a bell all day.
I'm sorry to contradict you, Ed, but take it from me, it's going to rain.
Bet your cigar it doesn't.
Done. Your man against my shoulder, huh?
Come on. We've got a full day ahead of us, and there's some people here I'd like you to meet. Clint, this is Major and Linda Townsend. Clint Nuxley.
You do.
Like I said, Ed, nobody messes with my shoulder.
Thanks, Sergeant. That was a great suggestion.
Pyle, you did say it wasn't going to rain today, didn't you?
Yes, sir, I sure did. And I just don't know what went wrong.
I mean, you did say it was going to be fair and clear.
Yes, sir. But now that you mention it, that was after I came back from sick bay. You remember you sent me over there because I was sneezing?
Yeah.
Well, the doctor said the sneezing was on account I was allergic to the paint. And then I had him look at my foot.
Your foot? What about your foot?
Well, I was just thinking, you remember how I stamped my foot once and twice like this? Oh, I'm sorry, Sergeant.
Forget it, Pyle, forget it. What about your foot?
I didn't want to say anything because I wasn't sure. But it just didn't feel the same. It didn't feel the same at all after the doctor removed the corn.
What corn, Pyle? What corn?
The one that was bothering me. You see, it was on my weather foot. And, well, when it was going to rain, it used to just hurt like the very dickens. I'll be able to march better than ever now. Look at that. Even if I can't tell the weather, just look at that, Sergeant.
All right, face platoon, fall out on the double. Come on, you meatheads. We got a lot of work to do. Come on, let's go. Move it, move it, move it, move it. Wait a minute. What's this? What's with the raincoats? You know the orders of the day? You're supposed to be falling out in utilities.
We know, Sarge, but Gomer said we'd be smart to take our raincoats.
Oh, he did he? Okay, Pyle, let's have it. This is a rib. You're trying to see how far you can push me. Is that it?
Oh, no, Sergeant. You know I wouldn't.
Pyle, I did not now, nor have I ever said anything about breaking out raincoats today. That means if you men value your lives, you got exactly 30 seconds to get out of them. 30 seconds.
Even if it's going to rain?
Rain?
Yes, sir, and all day, too. You see?
Forget it, Pyle. I'm not interested. Without that corn of yours, you're back to normal. Dumb, stupid, and thick-headed normal. So help me, if you so much as make one more...
You see, Sergeant, you see?
Pyle, don't you know the difference between thunder and artillery practice? You've been out on maneuvers. You've been out in the field. You've been... I thought... How, Pyle?
That's what I've been trying to tell you, Sergeant. I heard a report on the radio not 5 minutes ago. The official forecast calls for rain. Rain all day long. Isn't that something, Sergeant? The Weather Bureau finally got a prediction.
That old black magic has me in its spell. That old black magic that you weave so well.
Look at that chick, Gomer. Isn't she terrific?
Well, she's not too bad, but a little squeaky on the high notes. Maybe she'd practice more.
I don't mean her voice, I mean her. She's the greatest looking thing I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah, she is nice looking. She looks like she'd be a very sweet person. But she sure could stand a few voice lessons.
Who's about her voice? Look at that face, that body, that everything.
Everything is fine on her. The only thing that throws it off is her voice.
I should have stayed away, but what could I do?
Boy, what a knockout, ain't she, Boyle?
She's your type, ain't it?
Oh, you said it. She's got everything. Great face, terrific figure, and class. Yeah, she got class.
She can only sing.
What difference does that make? This girl is a goddess. Can't you see that?
You're right. She's a goddess with a rotten voice.
Listen, I gotta meet her. Hey, you got a pencil? I'm gonna send her a note.
Get her over here. Just wait and see. Waiter.
Yes, sir?
Listen, would you see that Miss Poovie gets this when she finishes?
Yes, sir.
Oh, wait. A little something extra for you.
Thank you. I'll see she gets it.
You can give him $1.
Gomer, one of the secrets of my success is I always go first class.
$1?
Waiter.
Yes, sir.
Now, listen, I wonder if you'd do a little something for me. Will you take this note to that lovely young lady up there when she finishes her song?
Okay.
And here's 2 bits for you.
You really know your way around, don't you, Vince?
Well, if you want things to happen, you gotta grease the palm, kid.
Magic color.
Hey, she got the note. See that, Gomer?
She got my note. Pull that chair up, Boyle. She'll be here in a second.
Excuse me, please. Hello. I got your note.
Oh, yes, Miss Poovie. We're certainly delighted that you came over. I was wondering if you might sit with us for a few minutes and maybe have a drink.
Well, maybe just for a little while.
Good.
I have to sing again, you know.
Oh, fine. Wonderful. I'm Duke Slater. This is my good buddy, Gomer Pyle.
How do you like that? She passed me right by and went over and sat with them knuckleheads. Waiter.
Yes, sir?
What happened? Wasn't that my note you gave that young lady?
No, sir. It was a note from those other fellas.
How come?
Well, I delivered the dollar notes first and the quarter notes later.
You've certainly got a lot of talent, Miss Poovie, and that's something I really know about. You see, I've fooled around in show business myself, you know.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if you went right up the ladder and became one of the top singers in the country.
Do you really mean that?
Well, I'll admit in some parts you sang pretty as a catbird, but in other parts you was just a freckle off.
Hey, where you from, Gomer?
Mayberry, North Carolina.
No, really? Well, for goodness sakes, do you know where I'm from?
Well, they're not going to get away with this. I'm going over there and bring her back here.
Well, good luck, Sarge.
You don't mean it. You're from Turtle Creek? Well, that's only 83 miles from Mayberry. Of course, I never have been there, but I've heard all about it.
Well, you've been to Siler City.
Siler City? For goodness sakes. I used to take the truck up there all the time to pick up radiator fittings.
And you know something else? Besides a great voice, you got style. Real style.
Well, hello there, boys. Nice to see you.
Well, hey, Sergeant Carter, I didn't know you was here.
Allow me to introduce myself, Miss Poovie. I'm Vince Carter, these boys' sergeant. I'm pretty angry at them, too. I mean, keeping you all to themselves this way, I just don't think that's right. Do you, boys?
Why don't you sit down and join us, Sergeant?
Oh, no, I got a much better idea than that. Why don't you join me and my corporal for a drink or two, Miss Poovie? I'm sure these gentlemen wouldn't mind sparing you for a minute, would you, boys?
Well,
no, Sergeant Carter. Not if Miss Poovie'd like to. I guess it's all right with us, right, dear?
Well, you know, I really admire your talent, Miss Poovie. I don't know.
How about that? Just when I was doing good.
I still think you was exaggerating a little bit about her voice.
Voice? Who cares about her voice?
As a matter of fact, I don't even know what a talent like you is doing in a joint like this. Oh, Miss Poovie, this is Corporal Boyle.
How do you do, Miss Poovie?
Well, hello.
Look, Gomer, she's looking back over here. She didn't want to leave me. Boy, that Carter's got a lot of nerve.
She is looking back at us. There's no question about that.
And I'll tell you something else. You know what you got, Miss Poovie? You got class. Ain't that right, Boyle? I mean, that's the first thing I said to Boyle. There's a dame with class. And if there's one thing I know about, it's class. How about a beer?
Oh, excuse me, fellas, but that's my cue. I've got to do another number.
Oh, sure. Don't stay away too long now. Boy, is that a dame or is that a dame? You know something, Boyle?
What?
I think she goes for me, too.
Yeah, what makes you think that, Vince?
You mean you didn't notice? There was that thing between us. You call it chemistry, electricity, but it was there. She felt it, I felt it. It was obvious.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Well, of course you didn't get it. It was passing between her and me. Chemistry ain't for the crowd.
You say so, Vince.
All or nothing at all.
Hey, Gom, would you mind going back to the base yourself tonight?
No, why?
Well, I think I'll stick around until she's finished. I want to talk to her again. You know, maybe take her out and buy her a steak or something. You wouldn't mind, would you?
Oh, not at all, do you?
Great. Hey, listen, would you loan me a 10 until payday? Is she something, Gomer? Is she something?
Only thing against her is her voice.
You wouldn't want to ask her if she has a friend for me, huh?
No, you just beat it, Boyle. And take the Jeep with you. She'll be out any minute.
No, you sure you don't want it? I can take the bus.
No, I'd rather walk her home. Now, just beat it, will you, please?
Okay, Sarge, good luck. Good luck with the chemistry.
All right. What are you hanging around here for, Slater?
Oh, just waiting.
Yeah? Waiting for what? Or should I say who?
Well, I'm
You wouldn't by any chance be waiting for Miss Poovie.
Miss who?
Slater, let me point something out to you.
Why, Miss Poovie.
My advice to you, Slater, is to get over there and get on that bus. Hey!
do it. Gomer, how could you do it? Letting her get on the bus when you knew I was waiting for her.
Golly, Duke, I couldn't help it. The bus pulled away before I could say anything, and I couldn't very well ask her to get off.
You took her right to her door, did you?
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, we had a nice long talk. We must have sat out on her steps for over an hour.
Yeah, did she mention me? What'd she say?
Well, she did mention you once. She said you had nice teeth.
Nice teeth, that's all? Oh, boy. First Carter comes along and butts in, and then you come along and take her home. Well, tonight I'm going back, and I'm going to really move in. Tonight.
So you never got to take her home, huh?
No, I told you. I was talking to that stupid Slater, and she went off on a bus.
Gee, that's tough luck, Vince.
Well, tonight's another night. Tonight I'm going down there, and I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm really going to make a pitch for her tonight.
I like your style, Vince.
Well, if there's one thing I know about Boyle, it's swimming.
Hello, Sarge.
All right, Slater, what are you doing here? Just get this through your head. Miss Poovie's going home with me tonight. There's going to be no arguments about that.
Miss Poovie.
Ah, there you are, my dear, and you're certainly looking lovely. I have a table for us right over here.
Oh, are you here alone?
That's right, all alone, honey. As a matter of fact, I was just saying goodbye to Private Slater here. Goodbye, Private. Well, you see, the private has a detail he forgot about. He's got to sweep the parade ground. Ta-ta, Slater. I'll see you in the morning. Look, why don't we just sit here at this table? It's much better than the one I had. So long, Slater. Now, let's see. Where's the waiter? I'll get us a drink. Are you still here?
Oh, please don't bother. I really don't care for a drink.
Why? Is something wrong? Oh, I know. You want Slater to leave. Get along, Slater. You heard me.
Oh, no. He doesn't have to go. I mean, he can stay. Well, actually, I was expecting someone else.
You don't have a boyfriend, do you?
Actually, I don't know.
What does that mean?
You know that Marine that was here last night?
What Marine? Corporal Boyle?
No, actually, the other one. Gomer Pyle.
Gomer Pyle? What about him?
Well, I know this sounds sort of silly because I've only seen him once, but...
Yeah?
Well, actually, I think I'm sort of in love with him.
Can you imagine that? Of all guys, Pyle, I could have fell over. This great-looking dame telling me she's in love with Pyle. Can you figure that, Boyle, Pyle?
Well, women are funny sometimes, Sarge. You can't figure out what they want or what they'll go for in a guy.
Excuse me, Sergeant.
What do you want, Pyle?
Well, I just came to pick up my pass for tonight.
Your pass? Well, I don't know about that, Pyle. I don't know why I should give you a pass to hang around the Congo Club all night long. I don't know whether it's good for you fellas to do that.
But I'm not going to the Congo Club, Sergeant. I'm not going anywhere near the Congo Club.
You're not?
Well, no, honest.
Oh. Well, okay, boy. I'll give him his pass.
Right. Here you are, Pyle.
Thanks.
Not that I'm really interested, Pyle, but just where are you going tonight?
Oh, well, you remember that young lady at the Congo Club named Louie Poovie?
Yeah, what about it?
Well, it's her night off, so she invited me over to her house for dinner. She's fixing all my favorites. Apple dumplings, fried chicken, hominy, fresh biscuits. Well, thank you for the pie, Sergeant, and I'll see you. There was this old possum way up here in the tree, and there was this old high-flying hound dog just barking and carrying on down here, and right between them was old Farley Upchurch, where he's got this real high, squeaky voice, and he was yelling, "Get the possum, you darn fool, not me, get the possum, get the possum." Oh, boy, it was a sight.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, Farley Upchurch, he's something else.
I sure like being with you, Gomer. I feel so comfortable.
Oh, well, that's probably just 'cause I'm from back home.
Well, that's part of it. But also, you remind me of somebody.
I do? We've been talking about me all evening. Let's talk about you. What are you doing out here so far from home?
Sometimes I wonder. I was happy enough back there. Had me a steady boyfriend.
You did?
Monroe E. Ford. His daddy ran the feed store. We was gonna get married.
Well, how come you didn't?
Well, Monroe just didn't understand about my wanting a career. He wanted to settle right down and start having a family.
Oh.
And I was just determined to pursue my career because singing is so important to me, you know?
Yes, I do. You know, I used to sing in the church choir back home, and I know what it can mean to a person who wants to make it their life's work.
Do you sing, Gomer?
Oh, little.
Do you pick a little, too?
Well, not much.
Will you sing something for me?
Oh.
Oh, please.
I don't know if I remember anything or not.
Oh, come on.
Wait a minute. There is one song that I remember that I bet you know. It's been kind of a long time.
If you miss the train I'm on, then you know that I have gone. You can hear the whistle blow 100 miles. 100 miles, 100 miles, 100 miles, 100 miles. You can hear the whistle blow 100 miles. Lord, I am one, Lord, I'm two, Lord, I'm three, Lord, I'm four. Lord, I'm 500 miles away from home, away from home, away from home, away from home, away from home. Lord, I'm 500 miles away from home.
You're not crying, are you?
No. But you know, it's funny. The first time I met Monroe, they were playing that song.
You kind of miss Monroe, don't you? I bet you'd be a whole lot happier if it was Monroe sitting here instead of me.
No, but thanks anyway for playing that song.
Golly.
Pyle, wait a minute.
Hey, Sergeant Carter.
Well, what kind of evening did you have, Pyle?
Oh, I had a wonderful time. A real fine dinner. She's a wonderful cook.
Yeah? Well, after dinner, did you... What's that you got on your cheek? Lipstick?
Golly, I guess it is.
She kissed you? How did you work that, Pyle?
I don't know. It was a surprise to me, too, Sergeant. You see, I sang her this song, and she got so stirred up, she kissed me.
You sang her a song and she kissed you? You're kidding.
No, singing means a whole lot to her. It's practically her whole life.
Singing, eh? Singing really gets to her?
I guess it does.
Singing? You sang her a song and she kissed you?
Uh-huh. Well, good night, Sergeant.
Singing? Yeah, it's too bad that Pyle couldn't make it tonight, but he had this guard detail that he forgot about, and I promised I'd fill in for him.
Well, it was awful nice of you to walk me home, Sergeant Carter. I hope you'll remember to tell Gomer that I understand about tonight. Night.
Yeah, wait a minute. You're not going to go in just like that.
Well, it is sort of late.
Oh, well, it's not that late, and besides, it's kind of a long walk from that bus stop. You wouldn't happen to have a bottle of beer around in there, would you?
Oh, gee, no, I'm so sorry, Sergeant, I don't.
Well, how about a bottle of pop?
Oh, I'm afraid all I have is just a little bit of buttermilk.
Buttermilk? Gee, that's perfect. I haven't had any of that in years.
Okay.
Hey, what a comfortable place you got here. Real homely. I love it, I really do. Yeah, solid comfort. You know what we ought to do sometime? We ought to have a nice home-cooked meal. I just love home cooking. Apple dumplings, fried chicken, hominy, hot biscuits. That's my kind of eating.
I'll get you a buttermilk now.
Yeah, it's a terrific place you got here.
Love is a man who's splendid. April rose that only grows in the early spring. Love is nature's way to be living. It's the golden crown that makes a man a king.
Sergeant, I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I'm all out of buttermilk. And it is getting late. You better go now.
Once on high and windy, in the morning mist, two lovers kissed, and the world stood still.
Some other time, Sergeant.
And your fingers touched my silent heart.
Hey, cut the racket, buddy. What do you think this is? The bitch with our
You know what she said to me? You better go now.
So?
Well, don't you know what that means? You better go now? Means she don't trust herself.
So you went, huh, Vince?
Well, sure. What else? I'm a gentleman. But there are other nights, spoiled. Other songs and other nights.
Golly! Sergeant Carter! Sergeant Carter! Corporal Boy, Sergeant Carter.
What's up?
I came to get my pies. The most wonderful things happened.
Yeah, what?
I finally convinced her to get married.
Mm-hmm.
Lou-Ann Poovie, you know the girl that sings at the Congo Club? Sergeant Carter comes back, tell him I had to go over to her place to help her get ready. Thank you, Corporal.
But Pyle! Vince, where you been? I called the barber shop. They said you left 10 minutes ago. Wait till you hear.
What? What happened?
Well, Pyle was just here, and Vince, he and that dame are getting married.
Pyle and what dame?
Your girlfriend, Lou-Ann Poovie.
You're kidding.
Vince, it's true. He went over there to help her get ready. He told me to tell you because he said that you'd understand.
He told you that and you let him go? Just like that, he's gonna get married without asking the chaplain, the CO, nobody? Why didn't you stop him? There's a chain of command in the Marine Corps. Why didn't you stop him, boy? You're supposed to be...
Taxi! Taxi! Oh, we missed it.
Pyle!
Hey, Sergeant Carter. Boy, this is a surprise. Did you come here to kiss the bride?
Bride? Just what did you have in mind, Pyle? Were you just gonna go AWOL? Or were you planning on going back to her hometown, meeting her parents, getting married, and having a wedding supper, and getting back here in 12 hours? Was that what you had in mind?
Oh, no, Sergeant. You see...
Do you know what you're letting yourself in for? A court-martial.
No, wait, Sergeant, wait. You got it all wrong. We're not getting married. I mean, Lou-Ann is, but I'm not.
Huh?
No, Lou-Ann's going back home to marry Monroe Eford from the feed store. You see, she came out here for a singing career, but she decided that her heart was still back home with Monroe.
And it took Gomer here to make me realize that.
You mean you had a boyfriend back home all the time?
That's right. Well, I didn't think so.
And there was nothing between you and Pyle here at all?
No, not really, Sergeant Carter. You see, I just reminded her of Monroe, and that's the reason she liked having me around so much.
Well, Gomer reminded me so much of Monroe that he made me want to go straight back home to him.
Oh. Oh.
You know what, Sergeant Carter? Lou-Ann's given up her singing completely.
No, really? Well, I haven't given up my singing, so this calls for a goodbye song and a kiss.
Oh, no, Sergeant, you don't really have to do that.
3 o'clock today? No kidding. Well, best wishes, Lou-Ann. She's getting married at 3 o'clock today.
Oh.
Well, listen, this is long distance, so I guess I better hang up. But wait just a minute. We've got a surprise for you. You still want to do it, Sergeant?
Sure, she'll get a real charge out of it.
Floating over the transfer requests he expected to receive, the lights began to flicker. A cold wind, generated by a large fan and a block of dry ice, swept through the room. Wah! Ow! Lee! A ghostly voice moaned. Whoa! Whoa! Barnaby froze. Who's there? Out of the shadows emerged Thorne and his crew, covered in white sheets and glowing phosphor paint. They were carrying lanterns and chains, clanking them rhythmically. We are the ghosts of the Petit-13, Thorne wailed. We have come for the man who sent us to our doom. The man who fakes reports. The man who hates hula dancers. No! No! Barnaby screamed, hiding under his desk. It was a joke. The boat isn't jinxed. I made it up. Please, don't take me to the big PT boat in the sky. The transfers, Wally. Pippin moaned, floating toward him on a hidden skateboard. Give us the transfers, and we shall return to the depths. Barnaby scrambled to his safe, pulled out the transfer papers, and threw them at the ghosts. Take them, just leave me alone. The ghosts vanished into the night, replaced by the sound of muffled laughter. The next morning, Thorne walked into Barnaby's office, looking perfectly alive and very smug. Just wanted to let you know, the 13, is shipshape and ready for patrol. No jinxes here. Barnaby looked up, his eyes bloodshot and his hair standing on end. Thorne, I hate you. I know, sir. Thorne smiled, adjusted his cap, and walked out toward the sun-drenched docks. Epilogue. The Sapphire Sunset. As the sun dipped below the horizon of the Sapphire outpost, the sound of a distant ukulele drifted over the water. The reef runners were throwing another party. The sinks were still plugged, the garter belts had finally arrived, and Sidney the alligator was enjoying a double-decker peanut butter sandwich. Commander Barnaby sat in his office, staring at a picture of a quiet, inland post in North Dakota. He sighed, reached for an antacid, and prepared for the next day of chaotic, glorious failure. Because at the Sapphire Outpost, the war was just a backdrop for the greatest comedy on earth, the Chronicles of Fort Fiasco, a summer of salt, schemes, and scaly witnesses. Chapter 1. The Acidic Commodore. The sun over the Azure Reef Outpost, affectionately known by its resident derelicts as Fort Fiasco, was not merely a star, it was a personal vendetta against anyone wearing a wool uniform. Situated on the humid, salt-crusted island of Isla de Sarcasmo, the outpost was the armpit of the Republic's navy. Commodore Barnaby, old blood pressure Blythe, sat behind a mahogany desk that was slowly being reclaimed by termites. His face was a shade of puce that doctors usually associated with imminent explosion. Garter belts, Sterling. Blythe roared, slamming a requisition form onto the desk. You are the chief logistics officer. If the auxiliary medical staff needs structural leg support, you snap to it. You shake a leg. Preferably one with a garter on it. What a war. The weight of the entire Republic sits on my shoulders, and I am being buried in hosiery. His subordinate, Lieutenant Cedric Sterling, a man whose spine was made entirely of sycophancy, trembled. Sir, garter belts are the least of our worries. I just received a telegram from Central Command. Grand Admiral Steele Glance Stone is arriving today for a surprise inspection. Blythe's face went from poussé to a ghostly, flour-sack white, Steele Glance Stone. The man who court-martialed his own grandmother for having a messy pantry. If he sees the state of this base, he'll have my head mounted on a pike in the harbor. The Commodore reached for a bottle of antacids, popping them like candy. My stomach acid could dissolve a cruiser's hull. Sterling, look at this place. The sinks in the officers' club are backing up with something that looks like primordial ooze. I'm a commander, not a plumber. If I could just get sick, truly, violently ill, then I wouldn't have to face him. A wicked glint entered Blythe's eyes. Wait, if I were incapacitated, I could appoint an acting base commander, someone to take the brunt of Stone's wrath. Someone, like Commander Leo, Smooth Sterling. Leo Sterling, no relation to Cedric, was the bane of Blythe's existence. Leo led a crew of misfits on the S. Rust Bucket, PT-73. A group of pirates in all but name, who treated the war like a perpetual beach party. If I put Leo in charge, Blythe whispered, a hysterical giggle escaping his lips. He and his cutthroats will run wild. They'll turn the base into an orgy of incompetence right in front of the Admiral. Stone will destroy them, and I'll be safe in a hospital bed, sipping ginger ale. Sterling, call the medic. I feel a collapse coming on. Hurry. Tell them I'm dying. Tell them it's the great Azure Agui. Chapter 2. The Accidental Commander. Leo Smooth Lockwood was lounging on the deck of the Rust Bucket, halfway through a questionable glass of moon gin distilled from fermented coconuts and jet fuel when the summons came. He found Commodore Blythe draped over his desk, groaning like a haunted foghorn. "Oh, Lockwood. It's the end," Blythe moaned, peeked one eye open. "The medics don't know what it is. A rare, tropical brain rot. Perhaps I'm appointing you acting base commander, and your little friend, Ensign Arthur Artie Bumble, shall be the executive officer." Artie Bumble, a man who could trip over a shadow, beamed. "Oh boy, did you hear that, Leo? We're in the big leagues now. I'll go get my official business stamp." Leo looked at the Commodore's suspiciously rhythmic groans. He knew a scam when he saw one. "Sir, I'm a saltwater skipper. I'm no good behind a desk. Wouldn't Sterling here be better?" "No, Sterling is a boob," Blythe shouted, momentarily forgetting he was dying. "I mean, Sterling must stay by my bedside. Now, get to my office." "That's an order." Within hours, Fort Fiasco underwent a transformation. Under Leo's command, the strict naval discipline was replaced with proactive leisure. The sinks were still backed up, but now there was a jukebox in the lobby. The garter belts finally arrived, but they were being used as slingshots by the crew to launch mangoes at seagulls. Leo sat in Blythe's chair, feet up. "RT, what's the status?" Artie was tangled in telephone cords. "Well, Skip, the CBs are building a bowling alley in the middle of the rifle range. They say the moving targets make it more challenging. Also, we've got a report of a sub on the radar, but it turned out to be a very large, very confused whale. Oh, and the boys want to throw a little shindig tonight. A full-scale tropical gala. Full speed ahead, Artie." Leo grinned. "If we're going down with a cocktail in our hands." Chapter 3. The Archduke and the Fire Dancers. The party was in full swing when the news broke. The Archduke of Maraschino was arriving for refuge, escaping a rebel uprising in the Southern Isles. He was bringing his 3 daughters, the princesses. "A real Archduke?" Artie gasped. "Do we bow, or do we do that ceremonial chicken dance the locals do?" Leo straightened his cap. "Just don't debase the dignity of the princesses, Artie. We need to look like a professional outfit." The Archduke, a man with a beard so large it required its own zip code, stepped off the transport. "Commander Lockwood, I travel with my most valuable cargo. And these chests of royal artifacts." The princesses were stunning, but they looked bored. Leo, ever the diplomat, offered the Archduke the wheel of the Rust Bucket for a leisurely tour. Meanwhile, Commodore Blythe was watching from his hospital window, fuming. "They're having a dinner, a gala, and I'm stuck here eating lime jello. Sterling, we have to sabotage them. I want that Admiral to see a madhouse." Blythe's plan was simple. He sent a local nurse, Lieutenant Wilson, to lure Leo away for a swim, just as the Admiral's plane landed. "Admiral Steel Glance Stone is here," Leo shouted, seeing the jeep approach the dock. "Artie, hide the girls. Hide the gin. Hide everything." In the chaos, the 3 princesses were shoved into the base's bomb shelter. When the Admiral arrived, Blythe, now wearing a bathrobe and looking like a crazed hermit, ran out to meet him. "Admiral, you won't believe it. Lockwood has turned this base into a harem. There are fire dancers in the bomb shelter, women in the closets." Stone, a man whose face was carved from granite, looked at Leo. "Commander, is this true?" "Hallucination, sir," Leo said calmly. "The Commodore has been under a terrible strain. Combat fatigue. He thinks he sees hula girls everywhere." Blythe screamed. I am not crazy. I saw them. Look in the laundry shack. They marched to the laundry shack. Blythe kicked the door open, expecting to find the princesses. Instead, he found Artie Bumble and the crew standing at attention, holding a fire drill. Fire drill, 100% successful. Sir! Artie barked. T.T. Hattie barked. Admiral Stone turned to Blythe. Captain, go back to bed. You are a disgrace to that bathrobe. Chapter 4. The Gas of Glee. The victory was short-lived. Artie Bumble, in his excitement, had accidentally torpedoed a friendly garbage scow, thinking it was a camouflaged enemy submarine disguised as potato peels. Blythe, recovered from his illness, was ecstatic. I'm convening a fitness board. Blythe cackled. Bumble is finished. I'll break him down to seaman second class so fast his head will spin. Leo knew he had to save Artie. We need to get the Commodore in a good mood. A really good mood. Even an undertaker couldn't make him smile, one of the crewmen muttered. Leo remembered his recent trip to the base dentist. Laughing gas, nitrous oxide. When I had my wisdom tooth pulled, I thought the dentist's bill was a hilarious joke. If we can pipe some into Blythe's office. The crew went to work. They swiped a tank of euphoria gas from the medical ward and hooked it up to the ventilation system of Blythe's office. Remember, Leo instructed, when the Commodore starts giggling, we get him to sign the cancellation of Artie's hearing. Blythe was in his office, preparing the charges. July 16th. Ensign Bumble shot down a target plane during a gunnery drill. Unfortunately, it was our target plane. August 1st. He torpedoed the garbage. Wait, why does the air smell like sweet lilies? Outside, the crew pumped the gas. Leo walked in. Captain, about Artie's hearing. Blythe looked at him, his face twitching. Then, a slow, wide grin spread across his face. Leo, old pal, old, smoothykins. You know, those potato peels did look like a submarine. It's a riot. Ha ha ha. Then you'll cancel the board, sir? Cancel it? I'll promote him. I'll promote everyone. I love this Navy. I love the water. It's so wet. Blythe began to dance a jig on his desk. Suddenly, the door burst open. It was Admiral Shoemaker, the head of the fitness board. He had arrived early. Binghamton, what in the name of the Great Republic is going on here? Blythe grabbed the Admiral's hat. Showy, you old dog, you want to dance? I'm Bingy Winky, and I'm a barrel of fun. Shoemaker turned to Leo. Commander, it appears your superior officer has finally snapped. But wait, look at that. An enemy raid siren wailed. A lone enemy bomber was diving toward the base. Artie Bumble, still feeling the effects of the gas he'd accidentally inhaled while setting up the tank, stumbled out to a deck gun. He wasn't aiming. He was laughing. Boom! By some miracle of physics and comedy, the shell hit the bomber's fuel line. The plane disintegrated in midair. Admiral Shoemaker was stunned. Anyone who can stand laughing in the face of death like that brave lad. He was born for combat. Hearing cancelled. I'm recommending a medal. Blythe, coming down from the gas, collapsed into his chair. Why me? Why is it always me? Chapter 5. The Case of the Scaly Witness. Peace never lasted long at Fort Fiasco. The final disaster arrived in the form of the base payroll, $62,000 in crisp, unmarked bills. Artie Bumble was tasked with transport. I'll take the shortcut past the racetrack. Skip. What could go wrong? An hour later, Artie returned, soaking wet and crying. The money's gone, Leo. I was walking by the swamp, and I tripped. And then this girl with a birthmark on her ankle distracted me, and then I got mugged. Blythe was waiting. He stole it. Lockwood and his crew swiped the payroll. I've marked the bills. I know the serial numbers. It wasn't us, sir, Leo shouted. It was Sidney. Who is Sidney? Blythe demanded. He's a saltwater crocodile, sir, Artie sobbed. He lives in the shack with us. He likes my mother's peanut butter sandwiches. He must have snatched the bag when I fell. An alligator stole $62,000? Do you think I'm a complete fool? Blythe roared. Court-martial. Tomorrow. And this time, there will be no laughing gas. The trial was a disaster. Leo was acting as Artie's defense attorney. Your Honor. Leo addressed the judge. I demand we call the key witness. The only one who can prove Ensign Bumble's innocence. Want a key witness, 1-2 pont. And who is that? The judge asked. Sydney. The doors to the courtroom creaked open. The crew wheeled in a massive, snapping crocodile on a flatbed cart. Get that monster out of here, Blythe screamed. Not until we present the evidence, Leo countered. Artie, show him the sandwich. Artie held out a peanut butter sandwich. Sydney's jaws opened wide. Inside his gullet, wedged between two prehistoric teeth, was a soggy canvas bag. Leo reached in very carefully and pulled it out. He dumped the contents onto the judge's bench. It was the payroll. Wait, Blythe shouted. Those bills, they're marked. Look at the serial numbers. Lieutenant Sterling. Sterling looked at his list. His eyes went wide. Sir, these aren't the payroll bills. These are my back pay bills. The ones you used to set the trap. The judge stared at Blythe. So, Commodore, you admit to using Navy funds to trap your own officers, and you planted this money in a crocodile? It was the alligator's fault, Blythe stammered. The judge banged the gavel. Charges against Ensign Bumble are dropped. Commodore Blythe, I'm ordering you to a psychiatric evaluation, and someone give that crocodile a medal. Epilogue. The sunset at the reef. As the sun set over Isla de Sarcasmo, the crew of the Rust Bucket sat on the dock, sharing a celebratory keg of moon gin. Sydney the crocodile lay nearby, happily munching on a jar of extra crunchy peanut butter. Leo Lockwood looked out over the azure reef. You know, Artie, this was almost a productive summer. Artie Bumble, now wearing his medal upside down, grinned. Hey, Skip, I just got a message from the supply office. They sent us 10,000 crates of ping-pong balls by mistake. Leo sighed, a small smile playing on his lips. Well, I suppose we'd better start building a giant paddle. We've got work to do. Far off in the hospital ward, the distant sound of Commodore Blythe screaming at a nurse echoed over the water. A familiar melody that told the crew of Fort Fiasco that all was right with the world. The Chronicles of Port Pandemonium, Sterling's Scoundrels, and the Great Payroll Panic. Chapter 1. The Garter Belt, Logistics Crisis. Port Pandemonium was not so much a naval base as it was a tropical experiment in how far the human spirit could drift before it hit the reefs of total insanity. Situated on the humid, mosquito-infested island of Isla de Locos, the base was the crown jewel of the South Pacific, if that crown were made of rusted tin and salvaged driftwood. Commodore Barnaby, the bluster bludger, a man whose blood pressure was roughly equivalent to the steam pressure of a boiling locomotive, sat behind his mahogany desk. He was currently staring at a requisition form that defied every law of military logic. Garter belts, Silas! Bludger roared, his face turning a shade of purple that matched the local hibiscus flowers. The nurses are demanding garter belts. I am a commodore of the fleet, not a haberdasher for the feminine auxiliary. His adjutant, Lieutenant Silas Sycophant, a man whose spine was made of pure gelatin, and whose only talent was nodding in rhythm with his superior's rage, trembled. But sir, Captain Sterling says the nurses are on strike. No garter belts, no penicillin shots. It's a matter of morale. Sterling, Bludger spat the name like a piece of spoiled calamari. That beachcomber in a uniform. If it weren't for his uncanny ability to sink enemy ships while presumably drunk, I'd have him chained to a buoy in the middle of the ocean. Bludger's stomach gave a treacherous gurgle. He reached for a bottle of white pills, popping them like candy. My stomach acid could start a diesel engine, Silas. And now this. A message from the Admiralty. Admiral Gravelguts Grimstone is arriving today for a sneak inspection. Silas gasped, nearly losing his spectacles. Grimstone? They call him Iron Pants. He once court-martialed a seagull for flying in an unmilitary formation. Exactly. Bludger stood up, pacing the small office. And look at this place. The sinks in the officers' club are backing up with something that looks suspiciously like fermented coconut mash. The petty officers are running a crab racing ring in the barracks. If Grimstone sees this, I won't just lose my command. I'll be lucky if they let me scrub the decks of a garbage scow. Sir, Silas whispered, a devious glint appearing in his watery eyes. If you were incapacitated, you could appoint an acting base commander, someone to take the heat, someone whose reputation is already so tarnished that a few more stains wouldn't matter. Bludga, Froze, he looked out the window toward the docks, where Captain Cappy Jack Sterling and his crew of the Rusty Scupper were currently teaching a local parrot how to whistle the Star-Spangled Banner in a minor key. Sterling, Bludger whispered, a slow, wicked smile spreading across his face. The sacrificial lamb. Silas, call the medics. I feel a sudden, catastrophic bout of tropical shingles coming on. Chapter 2. The Acting Commander's Orgy of Chaos. Within the hour, Commodore Bludger was tucked into a hospital bed, groaning with a theatricality that would have earned him a Broadway nomination. Captain Jack Sterling, a man who wore his cap at an angle that defied gravity, and his morals even looser, stood by the bed. Gee, Commodore, you look... well, you look like a man who's finally realized he's in charge of this place, Sterling said, stifling a grin. Sterling, Bludger wheezed, I am near death's door. I am appointing you acting base commander, and Pringle here. He gestured to Sterling's bumbling executive officer. Lieutenant Percival Pringle shall be your executive officer. Pringle, a man who could trip over a shadow on a bright day, saluted so hard he nearly poked his own eye out. I'll run this base with the precision of a Swiss watch that's been dropped in a blender. I know I won't. Bludger smirked into his pillow. The moment Sterling and Pringle stepped out of the infirmary, the atmosphere of Port Pandemonium shifted. It was as if a go signal had been fired for every illicit activity known to man. All right, boys, Sterling shouted to his crew. The bluster is down for the count. We've got garter belts to find, sinks to fix, and a party to throw. By noon, the base had been transformed. Under the guise of maintenance, the crew of the Rusty Scupper had set up a makeshift casino in the laundry shack and smuggled a troupe of cultural dancers, who looked remarkably like the local barmaids in grass skirts, into the air raid shelter. Skip! Pringle shouted, running towards Sterling with a telephone receiver in one hand and a garter belt in the other. Good news! We found the garter belts. The Seabees accidentally built the new mess hall in the middle of the rifle range. Tell them to keep their heads down while they eat, Sterling said, unfazed. What's that on the radar? A blip, sir. It's Admiral Grimstone's plane. Sterling's eyes widened. Already? Okay, change of plans. Hide the girls. Stash the booze. Pringle, get into a clean uniform and try not to look like a human disaster. Chapter 3. The Sultan and the Scoundrels. While the base was bracing for the Admiral, a separate crisis was brewing on the horizon. A distress signal arrived from a nearby island. A local dignitary, the Sultan of Marami, had been forced down by engine trouble, along with his 3 beautiful daughters. A sultan? Sterling mused. That's perfect. Bludger loves a V. I. P. If we rescue the sultan, even Grimstone can't get mad at us. The Rusty Scupper roared to life, cutting through the waves like a serrated knife. They found the sultan, a man dripping in silk and indignation, standing on a sandbar with 3 veiled women who looked far too interested in the PT boat's torpedo tubes. I am Karim, the Sultan announced, and these are my daughters. We require transport to Port Pandemonium immediately, but I warn you. Wowie, wow, wow, Pringle whispered, staring at the middle princess. Like a chicken. The Sultan snapped, misinterpreting the American slang. He clucks at my daughter? I shall have his head. Sterling jumped in. No, Your Highness. That's a ceremonial greeting. It means welcome, noble leader. It's an honor. And 9. The voyage back was a nightmare of etiquette. Pringle managed to offend the Sultan 3 times by accidentally touching the royal luggage, while Sterling tried to teach the Sultan how to steer the boat, leading to a near collision with a coral reef. Upon arrival, Bludger, who had miraculously recovered the moment he heard about the Sultan, was waiting on the pier. He was dressed in his finest whites, looking like a giant angry marshmallow. "Your Highness," Bludger bowed low, "welcome to Port Pandemonium." But the Sultan was impressed with the boat ride. "On the contrary, Commodore, Captain Sterling is a master of the waves. I insist he joins us for the royal banquet tonight." Bludger's eye twitched. "Of course. A rare honor." The banquet was a farce. Sterling's crew had been restricted to the base, but they weren't about to miss out. Pringle, in a move of desperation to see one of the princesses, convinced his buddies to help him borrow the rusty scupper for a midnight joyride. Meanwhile, back at the banquet, Sterling realized that one of the princesses was actually one of his crewmen in a veil, sent to cover for the real princess, who had snuck off to have a burger with Pringle. "Commodore," Sterling whispered, seeing Bludger leaning in to flirt with the veiled princess, "I wouldn't get too close. It's a royal condition." Chapter 4. The Laughing Gas and the Fitness Board. The next morning, the iron pants inspection finally hit. Admiral Grimstone arrived, and he was every bit as terrifying as rumored. He found Sterling's office smelling of cigar smoke and Pringle trying to hide a hula hoop behind a filing cabinet. Bludger, Grimstone barked. "This base is a disgrace. I'm convening a fitness board immediately to decide if Lieutenant Pringle is even fit to wear a bib, let alone a naval uniform." The hearing was held in Bludger's office. Pringle sat in the defendant's chair, looking like he was waiting for the guillotine. But Sterling had a plan. He had noticed that the base dentist had a fresh tank of nitrous oxide laughing gas. Through a series of convoluted maintenance maneuvers involving the ventilation system, the crew of the rusty scupper piped the gas directly into Bludger's office during the hearing. "Now then," Bludger began, trying to look stern. "The charges against Lieutenant Pringle are..." He started to giggle. "They're actually quite funny, aren't they?" Admiral Grimstone, who had been breathing the air for 10 minutes, let out a loud, uncharacteristic snort. "Funny? It's hysterical. He torpedoed a garbage scow. Imagine the smell. And he thinks he's an admiral." Bludger shrieked with laughter, slapping his desk. "Oh, Pringle, you chucky-wucky little devil." Pringle, confused but emboldened, started laughing too. "I'm a dummy, sir. A big fat dummy." "You are. You're a magnificent dummy." Grimstone roared, tears streaming down his face. Case dismissed, promoting him to Supreme Commander of the Laundry. The gas eventually wore off, leaving Bludger and Grimstone with massive headaches and a confusing set of signed documents that they couldn't remember authorizing. Chapter 5. Snappy, the Payroll, and the Final Showdown. The final blow to Bludger's sanity came in the form of the base payroll, $62,000 in small, unmarked bills. Bludger, hoping to finally trap Sterling in a crime, ordered Pringle to pick up the money alone and walk through the most dangerous part of town, Saloon Road. "If they swipe the money, I've got them," Bludger told Silas. "I've marked the bills." It's a trap for the rats, but the thief turned out to be unexpected. While Pringle was distracted by a girl with a heart-shaped birthmark on her ankle, actually a diversion set by the crew, the money bag was snatched by Snappy, the crew's pet alligator. "Snappy ate the payroll?" Sterling gasped when Pringle returned empty-handed. "No, he just took it," Pringle cried. "He's in my shack. He thinks it's a nest." Bludger and Silas arrived at Sterling's shack with a squad of guards, ready to make an arrest. "All right, Mikhail, where's the money? I know you stole it." "Sir, I swear it was the alligator," Sterling said, pointing to the reptilian beast currently lounging on a pile of canvas bags. "An alligator? Do you think I'm a fool?" Bludger screamed. "Arrest them all. Grand larceny." The court-martial was a circus. Pringle acted as his own lawyer, attempting to call the alligator as a witness. I object, Your Honor, Pringle shouted at the judge. The Commodore called Snappy stupid. Snappy had a very unhappy childhood. He's sensitive. Just as the judge was about to throw the book at them, the rusty scupper crew burst in with new evidence. They had managed to retrieve the wallet and the money from Snappy's mouth by using a peanut butter sandwich as a bribe. Look, Your Honor, Sterling shouted, holding up the marked bills. The Commodore admits he set a trap. He tried to frame a poor, defenseless alligator. In the chaos that followed, a fire drill, actually a smoke bomb, allowed the crew to swap the marked bills for real ones they had won at the casino, and the alligator ended up biting Silas Sycophant's trousers off. Admiral Grimstone, tired of the madness, ordered everyone back to their stations. Bludger, you're clearly suffering from combat fatigue. Sterling, get that prehistoric beast off my base. And, Pringo, just stay away from me. Epilogue, the martini on the beach. A week later, Commodore Bludger sat in the infirmary again, this time for real high blood pressure. He received a postcard from Sterling, who was currently on a mandatory recon mission to a nearby resort island. Dear Wally, the card read, having a wonderful time. Snappy says hello. He's developed a taste for caviar. Thanks for the vacation. Ever so fondly, Jack Sterling. Bludger let out a scream that could be heard all the way to conflict headquarters. Why me? He wailed to the empty room. Why is it always me? Outside, the rusty scupper cut through the sunset, the crew singing a bawdy sea shanty, with Pringle at the helm and Snappy the alligator wearing a tiny sailor's cap, guarding the remaining garter belts with his life. The end. The Azure Pickle Chronicles. A Comedy of Errors at Sea. Chapter 1. The Crimson Grump and the Impending Doom. The Isle of Marmalade was not, as its name suggested, a sweet place to be. It was a humid, mosquito-infested rock in the middle of the South Pacific, serving as the strategic, if somewhat dysfunctional base for the Allied naval forces. At the heart of this dysfunction sat Commodore Barnaby Bellows, a man whose blood pressure was roughly the same as a steam engine about to explode. Barnaby Bellows, known to his men as Old Beetroot due to the shade his face turned when shouting, was currently having a meltdown over garter belts. Garter belts! Bellows roared, slamming a fist onto his mahogany desk, which rattled the various indigestion pills scattered across it. You are the supply officer, Lugnut. Something the sulking. If the nurses need garter belts to keep their hosiery from succumbing to gravity, you snap to it. You shake a leg. You... Oh, you know what I mean. Lieutenant Lugnut, a man whose military career was built entirely on a foundation of nervous sweating and sycophancy, trembled. Sir, I'm trying, but the logistics of feminine undergarments in a war zone are... I don't want excuses, Bellows interrupted. I have enough problems. I just got a message from a contact at command. Admiral Ironsights Sterling Silver is arriving today on a sneak inspection. Ironsights. The man has court-martialed people for having too much shine on their shoes. Do you realize what a mess this base is in? Just then, the telephone shrieked. Bellows snatched it up. Hello? Yes, this is Bellows. Who did you expect? Tokyo Rose? The sinks in the officers' club are backing up? What do I look like? A plumber. I'm the commanding officer. Fix it yourself. He slammed the phone down and swallowed a handful of pink pills. My stomach acid could start a diesel engine, he groaned. Lugnut, I've had an epiphany. If I was sick genuinely, medically incapacitated, I wouldn't have to face the Admiral. I could appoint an acting base commander. Someone expendable. Lugnut's eyes widened. Not Commander Lucky Jack Sterling, sir? Bellows' face transformed into a mask of wicked glee. Exactly. Sterling and his gang of merry marauders. If I put that pirate in charge, he'll turn this place into a circus within 20 minutes. He'll destroy his own career, right in front of the Admiral. It's brilliant. Lugnut, I feel a sudden, debilitating illness coming on. Bellows let out a theatrical groan and collapsed into a chair. Lugnut, call the medic. I'm dying. I'm fading. It's the end. Right away, sir. Medic. Medic. The Commodore has been struck down by... something. Chapter 2. The acting commander and the garter belt gambit, Commander Jack Sterling, was not your average naval officer. He operated from a hidden cove on the other side of the island, commanding the PT-69, a boat that was held together by spit, prayer, and contraband engine parts. His crew, the Merry Marauders, consisted of Goldie, the world's most talented thief, Twitch, a man who could smell a supply depot from 5 miles away, and Big Mac, a mechanic who could fix anything with a piece of chewing gum. Jack was currently relaxing in a hammock when the summons arrived. He found Bellows in the hospital, draped in blankets, and looking suspiciously like a man who had just eaten a very large lunch. "Oh, Sterling," Bellows wheezed. "It's bad. The doctors, they don't know what it is. It might be tropical gout. It might be existential dread. Regardless, I'm appointing you acting base commander." Sterling squinted. "Me? Sir, I'm a saltwater skipper. I'm no good behind a desk." "Nonsense," Bellows coughed. "And to assist you, I'm appointing your sub-lieutenant, Percy Pringle, as acting executive officer." Pringle, a man who once managed to accidentally torpedo a garbage scow, beamed. "Oh, thank you, sir. You won't regret this." "I know I won't," Bellows muttered into his pillow. 20 minutes later, Sterling was sitting in the Commodore's office. The transition to power was instantaneous and chaotic. "Commander," Goldie burst in, "we found the garter belts, a whole crate of them." "Great," Sterling sighed. Pringle grabbed the receiver. "Executive Officer Pringle here." "What? The construction crew is building a mess hall in the middle of the rifle range?" "Well, tell them to keep their heads down." The office was a whirlwind of activity. Twitch was trying to organize a shindig to raise funds for the crew's morale, which usually meant illegal gambling, while Sterling was trying to track a Japanese submarine that had been spotted on radar. "Skip!" Goldie shouted over the noise. "The boys want to know if they can go full speed ahead with the party tonight." "Full speed ahead!" Sterling yelled back, distracted by a map. "Just keep it quiet. Just keep it quiet. Just keep it quiet. Just keep it quiet. Just keep it quiet." Goldie grinned. "You heard him. Full speed ahead." Chapter 3. The Sultan of Slapstick. The chaos reached a fever pitch with the arrival of a royal diplomat. The Sultan of Marami was visiting the island, accompanied by his 3 daughters, the princesses. Bellows, watching from the hospital window through binoculars, was ecstatic. "Look at it. The base is crawling with hula dancers and illegal stills. Sterling is doomed. And now the Sultan is here. Lugnut, get me my uniform. I need to be there when the Admiral arrives to see this Roman orgy Sterling has created." However, Sterling had a problem. He had inadvertently promised the Sultan's daughters a tour of the island, and now the Admiral's plane was touching down. "Iron Sights is here," Pringle shrieked. "And the Sultan's daughters are in their bathing suits in the air raid shelter?" "The air raid shelter?" Sterling rubbed his temples. "Why are they in the shelter?" Twitch thought it was a VIP lounge. Sterling grabbed his cap. "Move the girls, hide the dancers, and for the love of the Navy, find the Sultan's lost sword." Admiral Sterling Silver stepped off his plane like a man made of cold-rolled steel. He was greeted by Sterling and Pringle, who were trying very hard not to look like they had just hidden 50 hula dancers in a bunker. "Welcome to the Aju Pickle, sir," Sterling said, saluting with practiced ease. "Where is Bellows?" The Admiral barked. "In the hospital, sir." "Terminal. Indigestion," Sterling replied. Let's start the inspection. I want to see the laundry facilities first." "The laundry?" Pringle turned pale. "Sir, the laundry is currently being used for a top-secret sterilization project. Actually, the laundry was where the girls were currently hiding." Bellows, having escaped the hospital in a stolen seaman's uniform to avoid being seen, was lurking in the bushes. "Admiral!" he screamed, jumping out. "The laundry is full of hula dancers. Sterling is a criminal. I've found them." The Admiral stared at the man in the rumpled sailor suit. Who are you? I'm Bellows. Captain Bellows. Bellows is in the hospital with terminal indigestion, the Admiral said coldly. You look like a deserter. With pleasure, sir. Sterling grinned. Chapter 4. The Laughing Gas Gambit. Things went from bad to worse for Sub-Lieutenant Percy Pringle. After accidentally firing a flare into the Admiral's jeep, Bellows, now back in command after a miraculous recovery, had ordered a fitness board to determine if Pringle was fit to be an officer. He's finished, Bellows cackled in his office. Pringle is going back to being a deckhand, and Sterling is next. Sterling knew he had to act. How? Big Mac asked. The man hasn't smiled since the Great Depression. Laughing gas, Sterling said. Nitrous oxide. Goldie, you swiped a tank from the dental clinic last week, didn't you? Sure did, Skip. Was gonna use it for the party. The plan was simple. They would pump the gas into Bellows' office through the ventilation system while Sterling went in to negotiate. As the gas began to hiss into the room, Bellows' face changed. The crimson scowl softened. His eyes glazed over. He began to giggle. You know, Jack, Bellows chirped, his voice 2 octaves higher. Sir? Sterling suppressed a smile. About Pringle's fitness board? Oh, forget the board, Bellows laughed, slapping his knee. Let's promote him. Let's make him an admiral. Chucky Wucky Pringle. It's hilarious. Bellows wandered out of his office, giggling uncontrollably, just as Admiral Sterling Silver arrived for the hearing. Bellows, the Admiral shouted. What is the meaning of this? Bellows pinched the Admiral's cheek. You're a cute one, Iron Sights. You want to dance? Let's dance. The Admiral turned to Sterling. Is he drunk? Combat fatigue. Sir, Sterling whispered conspiratorially. The strain of command has finally snapped him. He thinks he's a butterfly. Bellows began to flap his arms and hum the tune. I'm a monarch. Look at me. Good heavens, the Admiral muttered. Cancel the board. We need to get this man to a sanitarium. Chapter 5. The case of the payroll-eating reptile. The final crisis involved the base payroll. $62,000 in small, unmarked bills. Sterling had been tasked with transporting the money from the mainland. It's a trap, Sterling warned his crew. Bellows is letting us carry the cash so he can claim we stole it, but nature had other plans. While taking a shortcut through the swamp, Pringle managed to lose the payroll bag. Camo, les, pou, or rather, he didn't lose it, it was stolen by Gustave the Glutton, a massive 12-foot caiman who had a strange affinity for the smell of Pringle's peanut butter sandwiches. The alligator ate the payroll? Bellows screamed when he heard the news. The court-martial was a spectacle. Pringle acted as his own defense attorney. Your Honor, Pringle addressed the judge. The defendant, which is me, is innocent. The perpetrator is currently lurking in the swamp. I request a mistrial on the grounds of reptilian intervention. Ridiculous. Bellows roared. Produce the alligator or face the firing squad? Suddenly, the doors to the courtroom burst open. Sterling and Goldie entered, dragging a very large, very annoyed Gustave the Glutton on a leash made of anchor chain. Exhibit A, sir, Sterling shouted. The courtroom erupted in chaos. Gustave let out a low hiss and opened his mouth, revealing a leather wallet. My wallet, Bellows gasped. He's got my wallet. And inside that wallet, Sterling said, are the $900 you used to try and bribe the supply officer, plus the marked bills from the payroll that Percy accidentally dropped near your office. The judge advocate peered at the evidence. Bellows, is this your wallet? It's a frame-up. The alligator is in on it, Bellows stammered. The alligator, the judge said dryly, is the most honest witness I've seen all day. Case dismissed. Bellows, I think you and I need to have a long talk about logistics. As Bellows was led away, Sterling patted the alligator on the head. Good boy, Gustave. Goldie, give him an extra peanut butter sandwich. You got it, Skip. The sun set over the Isle of Marmalade. The PT-69 roared into the distance, carrying a crew of misfits who had once again turned a certain defeat into a glorious, if entirely illegal, victory. You know, Percy, Sterling said, leaning back in the skipper's chair. We might just survive this war after all. Sure, Skip, Pringle replied, eyeing the swamp. As long as we don't run out of peanut butter. The End. The Nebula. Outpost Chronicles. A novel of cosmic chaos and intergalactic incompetence. Chapter 1. The Suspenders of War. Commander Archibald Belly Barnaby was having a very bad morning. The artificial sun of Gorgonia, 7, had barely crested the jagged purple horizon, and already his stomach acid was bubbling like a faulty cooling unit on a Class D freighter. He sat at his floating desk in the Sector 9 outpost, clutching a bottle of galactic Gaviscon as if it were the Holy Grail. Pringle! Barnaby bellowed, his face turning a shade of magenta that matched the local flora. Lieutenant Pringle, a man whose spine appeared to be made entirely of high-grade sycophancy, snapped to attention so hard his metals rattled. Yes, Commander. Sir. Reporting for duty, sir. Pringle, I've just been told the nurses in the med bay are threatening a strike. Do you know why? Because they lack the proper thermal garter suspenders for their zero-G uniforms. You are the supply officer of this god-forsaken dust bowl. If they need garter suspenders, you snap to it. You shake a leg, or an ion thruster, you know what I mean. But sir, Pringle stammered, the last freighter was hijacked by space pirates. All we have left in the warehouse is 3 crates of dehydrated kale and a pallet of left-handed wrenches. What a war, Barnaby moaned, leaning back and letting the floating chair drift aimlessly toward the window. Everything is on my shoulders. I am the commanding officer of the most strategically useless outpost in the Nebula sector, and I'm surrounded by idiots. And now I get word from the High Command. Admiral Iron Lung Ironclasp is arriving today on a sneak inspection. Pringle's jaw dropped. Ironclasp was a man who performed white-glove inspections on the inside of ship exhaust ports. He had once court-martialed a robot for having a smudge on its sensor. Ironclasp port. Ironclasp, Pringle whispered. Sir, look at this place. The sinks in the petty officer's lounge are backing up with green sludge. The droids are playing poker in the hangar, and Captain Mac Miller and his space scoundrels have turned the air raid shelter into a tiki bar. Barnaby's eye twitched. Miller, that man, is the bane of my existence. He and his crew of cutthroats treat this military operation like a permanent vacation at a luxury star resort. If Ironclasp sees the state of this base, he'll have my head on a pike, and yours as the centerpiece. The communication console chirped. A voice crackled through. Commander Barnaby? This is maintenance. The plumbing in Sector B is sentient again. It's demanding a union. I'm not a plumber, Barnaby screamed into the comms. He slumped back, clutching his stomach. A desperate, devious thought began to form in the murky depths of his mind. Wait. Pringle, if I were sick, genuinely, medically incapacitated, I would have to appoint an acting outpost commander, someone to face the Admiral's wrath in my stead. Pringle's eyes widened. Sir, I am ready to accept the supreme test. I will stand before the Admiral and, not you, you nitwit, Barnaby snapped. Mac Miller, I'll appoint Miller. With him and his band of rebels in charge, the outpost will descend into total anarchy within 20 minutes. Ironclasp will catch them red-handed, destroy Miller's career, and I'll be safely tucked away in the infirmary, looking like a tragic victim of space malaria. Sir, you are absolutely brilliant, Pringle gushed. I do look sort of sick, don't I? Barnaby asked, suddenly clutching his chest and rolling his eyes. Terribly sick. Call the medic. On the double. Pringle, I think I'm going to faint. Pringle stood there, mesmerized. Oh, sir, you're really committing to it. Bravo. Catch me, you idiot. Barnaby yelled as he tipped over. Pringle failed to catch him. Barnaby hit the deck with a dull thud. Thanks, Pringle, Barnaby hissed from the floor. You're a real hero. Chapter 2. The Acting Admiral of Anarchy. Captain Wild Mac Miller was currently relaxing in a hammock stretched between two laser cannons on the Gorgon 7-3. a modified PT boat designed for atmospheric combat. His crew, a motley collection of gamblers, moonshiners, and tech wizards, were busy distilling nebula nectar in a repurposed fuel tank. "Skipper!" Ensign Pip Periwinkle cried out, nearly tripping over his own oversized boots. Pip was the clumsiest officer in the fleet, a man who could cause a warp core breach by simply looking at a button. "Easy, Pip," Mac said, tilting his sunglasses down. "What's the rush? Did the commander finally explode?" "Worse, sir. Commander Barnaby is in the infirmary. He says he's dying of hyperindigestion. And he's appointed you as acting outpost commander." Mac sat up, a slow grin spreading across his face. "Me? In charge of the whole outpost? Archibald must be even sicker than he looks." "It's a trap, Skip," called out Virgil, the crew's chief mechanic, as he wiped grease onto his already filthy jumpsuit. "He wants you to take the fall when the Admiral arrives." "Maybe," Mac mused. "But think of the possibilities. No more restrictions, no more drills. Just total freedom. Pip, you're the new executive officer." "Me? Oh boy. Thanks, Skipper. You won't regret this." Pip immediately saluted, hit himself in the eye, and knocked over a stack of empty crates. Mac strolled into Barnaby's office like he owned the sector. He sat in the floating chair, put his feet on the desk, and picked up the direct line to the high command. "Hello? Yeah, this is Miller. Listen, cancel all drills for the next 48 hours. We're having a morale enhancement festival." Within hours, Sector 9, outpost was transformed. The space scoundrels had set up a blackjack table in the hangar. A hula-dancing hologram was projected over the main radar dish, and the mess hall was serving nothing but steak and nebula nectar. However, the peace was short-lived. "Skip, the Admiral, he's here!" Pip screamed, running in circles. "Relax, Pip. We'll handle him," Mac said, smoothing out his jacket. "Just look busy." Chapter 3. The Archon and the Three Sultanas. Admiral Ironclasp stepped off the shuttle, his boots clicking on the metal grating like the hammers of a gun. He looked at the outpost and frowned. Too clean in some places, and suspiciously smelling of roasted meat in others. But before he could begin his interrogation, a second, far more ornate ship landed. It was a golden, bulbous craft, decorated with scrolling neon scripts. "What is that?" Ironclasp demanded. Mac Miller stepped forward. "That, Admiral, would be the Grand Archon of Xylos. He's here for an official diplomatic visit. We weren't expecting you, but since you're here, you can join the welcoming committee." The Archon stepped out, draped in robes that shimmered with the light of a dozen stars. Behind him were three beautiful young women, the princesses of Xylos. "Greetings, O exalted ruler," Pip cried out, attempting a bow that ended with him face-planting at the Archon's feet. "I am Ensign Pip Periwinkle, your humble servant." The Archon looked down with a mixture of pity and confusion. "Is this the finest the hegemony has to offer?" "He's a specialist," Mac interjected smoothly. "In, ground-level gravity testing. Your Highness, welcome to Gorgonia. 7. I am Captain Mac Miller, acting commander." "Thank you," the Archon said. "But I must be cautious. I travel with my most valuable cargo. My daughters must be protected at all costs. No man is to touch them. No man is to even speak their names without my permission." "Of course, sir," Mac said. "Pip, show the Archon to his quarters, and keep your hands to yourself." "Yes, sir. No hands. I'm a handless man," Pip shouted, tucking his arms into his pockets and nearly falling over again. In the shadows of the infirmary, Barnaby watched the feed on a hidden monitor. Yes, yes. Look at that mess. Ironclasp is furious. Any minute now, he'll see the poker game in the hangar. And Miller will be finished. But Barnaby hadn't counted on the space scoundrels. They were experts at the stall. "Admiral," Virgil said, stopping Ironclasp in the hallway. "Before you start the inspection, you simply must see the new ion boiler in the laundry. It's a marvel of modern engineering." "I don't care about laundry," Ironclasp barked. "But, sir, It's currently being operated by a squad of trained cyber monkeys. Ironclad paused. Cyber monkeys? Preposterous. Show me. While Virgil led the Admiral on a wild goose chase through the plumbing systems, Mac was dealing with a royal crisis. One of the princesses, a daring girl named Ciri, had slipped away from her guards. She had found Pip and demanded he take her for a ride in a space sled. I can't, Your Highness. The skipper would have my head, and the Archon would have the rest of me. Pip pleaded. Oh, don't be a space bore, Ciri laughed. Just a quick trip to the Sapphire Caves. I'll be back before dinner. Pip, unable to resist a beautiful woman, or a bad idea, agreed. Chapter 4. The Gligas Incident. Meanwhile, Barnaby was growing impatient. The Admiral hadn't court-martialed anyone yet. He decided to take matters into his own hands. He recovered miraculously from his illness and donned his uniform. I'll do it myself, Barnaby hissed to Pringle. I'll expose their incompetence. And I know just how to do it. I've heard Miller is having a fitness board hearing for Pip today to prove his capability as an officer. I'll attend as the lead judge, but there was a complication. Mac had discovered that a shipment of glee gas, a potent medical nitrous oxide used for dental surgery, had been delivered to the base. If we can just get Barnaby in a good mood, Mac told his crew, he might forget all about the Admiral and the fitness board. We'll pump the glee gas through the vents into his office. The plan was set. As Barnaby sat in his office, preparing to grill Pip Periwinkle, a faint, sweet-smelling vapor began to hiss from the ceiling. Now then, Ensign Periwinkle, Barnaby began, his voice stern. Tell this board why you should not be stripped of your rank and sent to a labor colony on Pluto. Pip trembled. Well, sir, on the 16th, Barnaby suddenly snorted. A small giggle escaped his lips. I just realized. Your hat, Pip. It's so tiny. Ha! Ha ha ha! Sir? Pringle asked, confused. And Pringle! Barnaby shrieked, doubling over with laughter. Your nose, it looks like a dehydrated carrot. Oh, cosmic heavens. It's hilarious. Sir, are you feeling all right? Ironclasp asked, entering the office just as the gas reached a peak concentration. The Admiral took a deep breath. His ironclad frown began to melt. His lips twitched. Archibald, Ironclasp chuckled. I've always wanted to tell you. You look like a purple toad in that uniform. A big, bloated purple toad. Ha 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 ha. The entire office erupted into hysterical laughter. Mac Miller stood outside the window, watching through the glass with a smirk. Working like a charm, boys. But the gas wore off quickly. As the vents cleared, the room fell silent. Barnaby and Ironclasp looked at each other, horrified by what they had just said. Admiral, Barnaby stammered, his face turning an even deeper purple. I can explain. Silence. Ironclasp roared, the laughter replaced by a cold, sharp fury. There is something very wrong with the air in this outpost. I want a full investigation. And where is that Archon? It's time for the diplomatic dinner. Chapter 5. The hula sabotage. The dinner was a disaster waiting to happen. Ciri was still missing, and Pip was frantic. To cover for her absence, Mac had dressed one of his brawnier crew members, a man named Big Moose, in a veil and royal silks. Behold, the Archon's third daughter, Mac announced as the veiled figure clumsily danced into the room. The Archon squinted. Ciri, you've grown. Significantly more muscular since this morning. And you have a 5 o'clock shadow. It's the Gorgonia gravity, sir, Pip shouted. It causes sudden bone density, increases and rapid hair growth. It's a medical marvel. Barnaby, sensing a trap, lunged forward and ripped the veil off. Aha, this isn't a princess. This is a torpedo loader named Higgins. Insubordination, the Archon screamed. You have insulted my bloodline. I shall contact the hegemony. I shall have this planet vaporized. Wait, Mac Miller shouted. Look. Just then, Pip arrived, trailing a very disheveled but smiling Princess Siri. She's here! She was just examining the local cave systems for science. The Archon huffed, but seeing his daughter safe, he relented. Ironclasp, however, was not so easily appeased. I've seen enough, the Admiral said. This outpost is a circus. Barnaby, you are relieved. Miller, you are under arrest for impersonating a commander. And Periwinkle, I don't even know what to do with you. But, sir, Mac cried, we were just trying to maintain morale. Morale is for civilians. Ironclasp snapped. Now, where is the base payroll? I need to verify the credits before I depart. A heavy silence fell over the room. Chapter 6. The Mystery of the Cybergator. The base payroll, 62,000 galactic credits in a heavy canvas bag, was gone. Gone? Barnaby shrieked. We didn't lose it, Max said, his mind racing. It was stolen. By a local. A local? There are no locals on this rock, but us. Not a human local, Max said. A cybergator, a 3-meter reptilian beast with a penchant for shiny objects. It lives in the swamp near the 73's dock. Barnaby laughed, manically. It's true, Pip cried. I saw him. He had the bag in his mouth. He looked like an old cousin of mine. We call him Chompy. Chompy, Ironclasp whispered, his eyes narrowing. Very well. If there is a Chompy, find him. If not, you all face the firing squad at dawn. The search for Chompy lasted all night. The crew of the Gorgon, 7-3, waded through the neon-green swamps, armed with nothing but jars of nebula nectar and Pip's mother's homemade peanut butter sandwiches. He loves peanut butter, Pip insisted. Come here, Sydney. I mean, Chompy. Come to Uncle Pip. Suddenly, a massive shape lunged out of the reeds. It was Chompy, a terrifying mix of scales and rusted bionic plating, and clamped firmly in his metal-reinforced jaws was a canvas bag. The payroll. Virgil cheered. Don't just stand there, Mac yelled. Get it. You get it, Higgins shouted. He's got laser eyes. After a harrowing chase that involved Pip accidentally riding the gator like a surfboard, the crew managed to lure the beast back to the outpost. Chapter 7. The Court-Martial of the Century. The next morning, a makeshift courtroom was set up in the hangar. Admiral Ironclasp sat as the high judge. Barnaby was the prosecutor, looking smugger than a cat in a fish market. I intend to prove, Barnaby declared, that this cybergator is merely a distraction. A puppet. This crew stole the money and hid it in that beast's mouth to frame poor, innocent nature. I object, Pip shouted. You can't blame Chompy. He had an unhappy childhood. His mother was a discarded handbag. Order, Ironclasp barked. Produce the evidence. Mac Miller stepped forward. Sir, we cannot produce the money. Because Chompy, well, he's a bit territorial. He won't open his mouth for anyone but Pip, then have Periwinkle open it. Pip walked up to the massive reptile. Okay, Chompy. Open wide for the Admiral. Here's a nice peanut butter sandwich. Chompy opened his mouth. The hangar was silent, but instead of the payroll, Chompy let out a massive, metallic burp. A single, crumpled 20-credit bill floated to the floor. He ate it! Barnaby screamed with joy. He ate the evidence. They're finished. Wait, Max said, pointing to a nearby laser cannon. Look at the barrel. The bag was wedged in the firing mechanism of the base's main defense turret. When the crew had been checking for saboteurs the night before, Pip had accidentally stuffed the bag there to hide it from Barnaby, then forgot about it. Aha! Barnaby lunged for the bag. I've got you now. You hid it in the cannon. But Barnaby's clumsy lunge tripped the firing sensor. Whoosh! The cannon roared. The canvas bag was launched at Mach 3, straight into the air. It exploded in a cloud of 62,000 crisp, golden credit notes. It began to rain money. The crew cheered. The Archon's daughters began to dance. Even the cyber monkeys in the laundry started hooting. Ironclasp stood in the middle of the golden rain, a single credit bill landing on his nose. He looked at Barnaby, then at Mac Miller, then at Pip, who was currently trying to eat a piece of the falling money. "Barnaby," the Admiral said quietly. "Yes, sir?" Barnaby squeaked. "You are a disaster. You are a buffoon. You are quite possibly the worst officer I have ever encountered." Barnaby hung his head. However, Ironclasp continued. "Any man who can lead a crew that manages to accidentally shoot a payroll into the atmosphere and still have it land mostly intact is a man with a certain, terrifying kind of luck. I'm promoting Miller to commander of his own task force. He's leaving Gorgonia, 7 tonight." "He's leaving?" Barnaby's eyes lit up. "He's really leaving?" "Yes," Ironclasp said. "And you, Barnaby, are being transferred to a weather station on the dark side of a frozen moon. Alone. Alone. Seddon. Alone. Alone. Alone?" Barnaby whispered. "No Pringle? No Miller? No Pip? Just you and the cold, Archibald. Just you and the cold." Barnaby let out a long, happy sigh. "It's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard." Epilogue. The long goodbye, as the Gorgon, 7-3, lifted off into the starry abyss. Mac Miller looked back at the receding purple dot of Gorgonia. 7. "We did it, boys," Mac said, raising a glass of nebula nectar. "On to the next sector." "Skipper?" Pip asked, looking up from a stack of sandwiches. "Do you think the commander will be okay on that moon?" "Oh, I'm sure he'll be fine, Pip. He's got his galactic Gaviscon and his thermal garter suspenders. What more could a man need?" Suddenly, a loud scratching sound came from the cargo hold. "What was that?" Virgil asked. Pip turned pale. I might have smuggled someone on board." He looked so lonely on that dock. A massive, bionic tail thrashed out of the hold. A metallic roar echoed through the ship. "Chompy?" Mac asked, closing his eyes. "He likes the engines." "Skip!" Pip shouted. "They sound like his mother." Mac Miller sighed and sat back in his chair. "Well, I guess every good commander needs a cybergator." And so, the Gorgon, 7-3 sailed into the infinite black, followed by the sound of a very happy, very hungry reptile. The end. The Tropical Tempest. The Chronicles of Isola de Caos. Chapter 1. The Commodore's gastric disaster. The humidity on the island of Isola de Caos was thick enough to serve as a meal. In the center of the naval-adjacent private security outpost, inside a corrugated tin office that vibrated with the hum of a dying air conditioner, Commodore Barnaby Bellows was having a religious experience. The religion was centered entirely around his stomach lining, and the god he prayed to was a brand of extra-strength antacid tablets that tasted like chalk and regret. "Wow," Bellows whispered, staring at a supply manifest. "Wow, wow, wow. Garter belts? Digby, look at this. I am the commanding officer of a strategic outpost, not a haberdasher for the Lingere inclined." His loyal, albeit perpetually trembling, sidekick, Lieutenant Digby, snapped to attention so hard his heels clicked like castanets. "They say the tropical heat ruins the elasticity. It's a matter of morale." "Morale?" Bellows barked, his face turning a shade of purple usually reserved for bruised plums. "Do you realize the pressure I'm under? The sinks at the Petty Officers Club are backing up with something that looks like primordial ooze. The radio tower's picking up Tokyo Rose reruns. And now this." He slammed a telegram onto the desk. "Inspector General Steelgaze Sterling is arriving today. A sneak inspection. If he sees this place, he'll have my head on a pike and my pension donated to the home for retired sea lions." Bellows slumped into his chair, popping 3 more antacids. "I need a way out, Digby. I need a medical miracle, or a catastrophic, non-fatal illness that renders me legally incapable of being shouted at by an inspector general." Digby's eyes lit up with the kind of dim bulb intelligence he was known for. "Sir, if you were incapacitated, you'd have to appoint an acting commander, someone to take the brunt of the inspection." Bellows paused. A slow, predatory smile crept across his lips. "An acting commander. Someone I hate. Someone so incompetent so chaotic, that Sterling will be too busy court-martialing him to notice my administrative failures. Captain Mac, the Maverick Malone? Digby suggested. Exactly, Bellows hissed. If I put Malone in charge, he'll turn this base into a circus in under an hour. Sterling will see the carnage, fire Malone, and I'll return from my deathbed to heroically clean up the mess. It's brilliant. Digby, call the medic. Tell him I've contracted tropical hysteria. Chapter 2. The reign of Maverick Malone. Captain Mac Malone was currently occupied with a very important tactical maneuver, trying to convince a coconut to stay upright, while his crew, the scallywags, used it as a target for a game of ring toss. Malone was a man of leisure, a master of the strategic nap, and the only officer on the island who could wear a Hawaiian shirt under his tunic and make it look like a regulation requirement. "Skipper!" shouted Ensign Percival, Pip Pringle, stumbling over a crate of canned peaches. Pip was a man who could trip over a flat surface and somehow accidentally launch a torpedo. "The Commodore. He's dying. Or, at least, he's making a lot of noise about it." Malone sighed, adjusting his sunglasses. "Bellows is always dying, Pip. It's his primary hobby, right after yelling at us for having non-regulation fun." 10 minutes later, Malone and Pip stood in the infirmary. Bellows was draped across a bed, moaning like a foghorn in a storm. "Malone," Bellows wheezed. "The end is nigh. I'm appointing you acting commander. Take the base. Take the desk. Take the garter belt. Manifest." "I can't. Go on." "Me? Acting commander?" Malone asked, trying to hide the spark of mischief in his eyes. "Gee, Commodore, I'm just a saltwater skipper. I'm no good behind a desk." "It's an order," Bellows shouted, briefly forgetting to be dying before reverting to a theatrical gasp. "And Pringle here. He's the new acting executive officer." Pip's jaw hit the floor. "Me? An officer? Oh boy." "Skipper, did you hear that? I'm going to be a leader of men." As soon as they left the room, Bellows sat up and winked at Digby. "Now we wait for the fireworks." But Malone didn't provide fireworks. He provided a party. Within 3 hours of Malone taking command, the petty officers' club sinks were fixed by a plumber. Malone had traded 2 crates of confiscated whiskey for the garter belts were distributed to the nurses with a gala ceremony, and a tiki luau was organized for the visiting Inspector General. "If we're going to be inspected," Malone told his crew, Barney, Smitty, and Tink, "we might as well give them something worth looking at. Open the secret stash. Full speed ahead on the Hospitality." Chapter 3. The Sheikh and the Strategic Hula. The chaos hit a fever pitch when a second message arrived. A high-ranking VIP, Sheikh al-Zahrani, was arriving with his daughters. His yacht had engine trouble near a remote reef, and Malone's boat 73 was dispatched to rescue them. "Your Highness," Malone said, bowing on the deck of the boat 73 as the Sheikh and 3 veiled princesses stepped aboard. "Welcome to the finest vessel in the fleet. My executive officer, Pip, will handle your luggage. Just don't let him near anything breakable." The Sheikh was impressed. "A fine craft." "Sure," Malone said. "What's the worst that could happen?" As the Sheikh careened the boat 73 across the lagoon like a bumper car, Malone realized they were in trouble. Bellows had miraculously recovered the moment he heard a Sheikh was on the base. He wanted the credit. He wanted the photo op. The base became a madhouse of conflicting identities. Malone was trying to keep the princesses happy by letting them hide in the air raid shelter when the inspection started, while Bellows was trying to convince the Inspector General that Malone was a lunatic who hallucinated hula girls in military installations. "Inspector Sterling!" Bellows screamed, pointing a trembling finger at the air raid shelter. "I tell you, Malone has turned this base into a den of iniquity. There are women in that bunker." Sterling, a man with a jawline made of granite and a personality to match, stared at the bunker. "Commodore, that bunker is empty. I just checked it. Are you feeling quite yourself?" Malone had, of course, moved the princesses to the laundry shack 5 minutes prior. The climax came when Bellows, in a fit of desperation, burst into the laundry shack, dragging the inspector by his collar. He ripped open a large hamper, expecting to find a princess. Instead, out popped Pip Pringle, wearing a grass skirt and a look of profound confusion. "Fire drill, sir!" Pip shouted, snapping a salute that nearly took his own ear off. 100% successful. Sterling turned to Bellows. "Commodore, go back to bed. You're clearly suffering from combat fatigue." Malone, carry on. Chapter 4. The glee of the gases. Life on Isola de Caos never stayed quiet for long. A week later, Malone had a wisdom tooth that was causing him strategic agony. He visited the base dentist, a man named Dr. Yankum, who had a worrying tremor in his hands, while Malone was under the influence of nitrous oxide, laughing gas. He became convinced that Bellows was actually a giant, talking penguin. The resulting conversation, which involved Malone trying to feed the Commodore a bucket of sardines, led to Bellows convening a fitness board to have Malone kicked out of the service for good. "He's insane, Admiral," Bellows told the board. "He tried to salt me. He said I needed to be chilled and served on a bed of ice." The crew knew they had to save Malone. Tink, the resident mechanical genius, had a plan. He borrowed a tank of the laughing gas and rigged it to the ventilation system of Bellows' office. The plan was simple: get Bellows into such a good mood that he would cancel the hearing. During the high-stakes meeting, as the Admiral began to read the charges against Malone, the gas began to hiss into the room. Bellows, who had been mid-sentence about the lack of discipline, suddenly paused. A strange, goofy grin spread across his face. "You know," Bellows giggled, "Malone, you're a real card. A real joker. Why are we so mad? Let's dance." The Admiral, also inhaling the gas, nodded solemnly. "I've always felt that the Navy lacked whimsy. Charges dismissed. Let's have a parade." The base watched in awe as the Commodore and the Admiral skipped across the parade ground, throwing rose petals and singing sea shanties in high-pitched voices. The fitness board ended not with a court-martial, but with a synchronized swimming demonstration in the lagoon. Chapter 5. Brutus and the 62 grand. The final straw for Bellows came when the base payroll arrived $62,000 in cold hard cash. Bellows, determined to catch Malone in a trap, accidentally left the payroll bag in a vulnerable spot, hoping Malone's crew would steal it. "Mark the bills, Digby. Once they spend a single dollar, we've got them." However, Isola de Caos had a local resident that Bellows hadn't accounted for. Brutus, a 12-foot alligator, with a penchant for leather bags and Pip Pringle's peanut butter sandwiches. Pip had befriended Brutus, treating the apex predator like an oversized golden retriever. When Pip saw the payroll bag sitting on a dock, he thought it was his lunch. When he realized it wasn't, he dropped it in surprise right into Brutus's open mouth. "Skipper," Pip wailed. Brutus ate the money. He ate the Commodore's wallet too. Bellows was ecstatic. "The money's gone. Malone, you and your men are under arrest for grand larceny. Don't tell me an alligator ate it." That is the oldest excuse in the book. A court-martial was convened immediately. Pip was the lead defendant, facing 40 years in the brig. "I object," Pip shouted during the trial, acting as his own lawyer. "I demand to call a witness." "Who?" the judge asked. "Brutus." The courtroom doors swung open. Malone and the scallywags rolled in a massive iron cage containing a very grumpy Brutus. "This is an outrage," Bellows screamed. "You can't put a reptile on the stand." "He has the evidence, sir," Malone shouted. "Pip, give him the special sandwich." Pip tossed the sandwich into the cage. Brutus, excited by the peanut butter, let out a massive sneeze. THWIP. The payroll bag, slightly slimy but entirely intact, flew out of the alligator's mouth and landed directly in Bellows' face, knocking him backward into a water cooler. The judge peered over his glasses. "Well, Commodore, it seems the money is here. And look, the bag has your initials on it. And there's your wallet." Bellows sat up, dripping wet, clutching the slimy bag. But they stole it. They marked the bills." "No, wait, Digby, tell them." "Sir, Digby whispered. You just admitted to setting a trap using government funds. That's highly irregular. The judge slammed his gavel. Case dismissed. And Commodore, I suggest you take a long vacation. Your obsession with this alligator is becoming a matter of national security. Epilogue. Sunset over the scallywags. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the Pacific in shades of gold and orange, Malone and his crew sat on the deck of Boat 73. The sound of a distant, frustrated scream echoed from Bellow's office. No doubt the Commodore had discovered that his private stash of champagne had somehow migrated to the Boat 73's cooler. You know, Pip, Malone said, clinking his glass against the ensigns. You're a terrible officer, an even worse navigator, and you almost got us eaten by a swamp monster. Pip beamed with pride. Thanks, Skipper. Does that mean I get a promotion? Don't push it, Malone laughed. Just keep the peanut butter away from the Commodore. I think he's starting to develop a grudge. Halomane laughed. I think he's starting to develop a grudge. On the island of Isola de Caos, the war went on. But for Captain Mac Malone, it was just another day in paradise. The end. The Nebula Chronicles. Chaos at Outpost Gamma. Chapter 1. Magnetic belts and magma ulcers. Commodore Barnaby Baxter was a man whose blood pressure could be used to power a medium-sized starship. He sat behind his levitating desk at Outpost Gamma, a dusty, forgotten rock on the edge of the Void Nebula, clutching his forehead as if trying to keep his brain from escaping. Wow, Baxter whispered, his voice trembling with a mix of awe and pure, unadulterated fury. Wow, wow, wow. Grav belts. You are the chief supply officer of this entire quadrant, and you're telling me we're out of magnetic grav belts for the space nurses? Across from him stood Lieutenant Carpenter, a man whose primary contribution to the Galactic Navy was looking concerned at inappropriate times. The shipment was rerouted to the Andromeda front line, sir. Apparently, the soldiers there need their trousers to stay up more than our nurses need to float. If the nurses need to float, you make them float. Baxter roared, slamming his fist onto the desk, which promptly glitched and sank 3 inches. You snap to it. Shake a bionic leg. You know what I mean. This is a war, Carpenter. Everything is on my shoulders. Baxter's stomach let out a gurgle that sounded like a trash compactor crushing a suit of armor. He fumbled for a bottle of glowing blue antacid pills. Sir, please, Carpenter pleaded. Those pills give you nebula indigestion. Your stomach acid could start a fusion reactor. I don't care. Baxter popped 3 pills. I'm the commanding officer of this sector, not a plumber. And speaking of plumbing, the waste reclamation units at the Petty Officers Nebula Club are backing up. Do I look like I have a wrench in my hand? Before Carpenter could answer, a Priority Alpha hologram flickered to life on the desk. It was a message from the High Command. Oh, no, Baxter gasped, his face turning a shade of pale green that matched the nebula outside. Hi, Archon. Iron Gaze. Ignatius is arriving today for a sneak inspection. He's the most cold-blooded, heartless bureaucrat in the fleet. If he sees the state of this outpost, the gambling, the illegal moonshine stills, the Sterling, Baxter's eyes narrowed. Silas Starlight Sterling, the captain of the SC-73, was the bane of Baxter's existence. Sterling's crew was a collection of hackers, gamblers, and rogues who treated the Galactic Navy like a long, paid vacation. Wait a minute, Baxter said, a slow, wicked grin spreading across his face. If I were sick, I could appoint an acting outpost commander, and if that commander happened to be Sterling, he'd be the one facing Ignatius. And with Sterling in charge, the outpost will descend into a chaotic orgy of incompetence within minutes. Ignatius will strip his rank on the spot. Sir, that is absolutely brilliant, Carpenter said. But you don't look sick. Baxter immediately collapsed onto his reclining chair, letting out a weak, pathetic groan. I feel the space shivers coming on. Call the medics. Tell them I'm at death's door. Tell them it's the supreme test. Chapter 2. Commander Stokes and the Euphoria Vapor. Captain Silas Sterling walked into the outpost infirmary with his hands in his pockets and a look of amused suspicion. Behind him trailed Junior Lieutenant Percy Poodles Pippin, a man who had once managed to trap his own head in a protein sequencer. "Gee, Captain, I hope the Commodore is okay," Pippin said, tripping over the threshold of the automatic door. "Don't worry, Poodles," Sterling said. "Baxter's too mean to die. The universe wouldn't know what to do with his ghost." They found Baxter lying on a bio bed, surrounded by bleeping sensors. He looked up with watery eyes. "Sterling, thank the stars you're here. I'm in bad shape. The doctors, they're running tests. I might have super gout." "Super gout?" Sterling eyebrows shot up. "I thought that was only found in elderly space walruses. It's a very rare human strain." Baxter snapped, then remembered to groan. "Anyway, I have to appoint an acting outpost commander. I'm appointing you, Sterling." "Me?" Sterling laughed. "Come on, Commodore. I'm a saltwater skipper, well, a vacuum skipper. I don't know the first thing about requisition forms or waste reclamation. I won't hear of it. It's an order." Baxter gasped. "And to help you, I'm appointing Pippin here as your acting executive officer." Pippin's eyes widened to the size of saucers. As Sterling and Pippin left, Baxter sat up and high-fived Carpenter. "This is going to be the happiest illness of my life. By the time Ignatius gets here, Sterling will have accidentally declared war on a neutral trade federation." Meanwhile, at the Outpost Command Center, the Cosmic Corsairs Sterling's crew had already moved in. "Okay, listen up," Sterling said, leaning back in Baxter's plush chair. "The Commodore is sidelined. That means we run this place the SC-73 way. Gruber, get the illicit gambling chips out. Willie, start the still in the waste reclamation room. And Puddles, try not to press any red buttons." "Sir," Pippin shouted, accidentally hitting a button on the intercom. "Attention all personnel. We have found the magnetic grav belts. Repeat, the nurses may now float." "Nice work, Puddles." Sterling sighed. Suddenly, a frantic officer ran in. "Commander, the waste reclamation sinks are still backing up, and the petty officers are threatening to strike. Give them a double ration of moon juice and tell them the sinks are now experimental biohabitats," Sterling ordered. But the real trouble was just beginning. High Archon Ignatius's stealth shuttle was already entering the system. Chapter 3. The Sultan of the Star Spires. A week into his illness, Baxter was furious. Instead of the outpost falling apart, reports were coming in that morale was at an all-time high. Sterling had turned the base into a giant resort. "He's throwing a nebula festival," Baxter screamed at Carpenter, "with hula holograms and synthesized cocktails." In front of the High Archon. "Actually, sir," Carpenter whispered, "Archon Ignatius hasn't arrived yet, but the Sultan of the Andromeda Spire is arriving. High Command wants us to impress him, so he signs the energy mining treaty." "The Sultan? With his 3 daughters? The Star Princesses?" Baxter's eyes glittered. "Sterling will definitely mess that up. He's a rogue. He'll try to charm them, and the Sultan will take offense." But when the Sultan arrived, things went sideways. The Sultan, a towering figure in robes made of woven starlight, was fascinated by the SC-73, this craft. The Sultan boomed, looking at Sterling's battered ship. "It has character. It does not look like the sterile, boring vessels of your fleet. It's built for speed and luck, Your Highness," Sterling said, bowing smoothly. "I wish to steer it," the Sultan declared. "And my daughters wish to see your nebula festival." Sterling looked at Pippin. Pippin looked at the floor. "Of course, Your Highness," Sterling said. "We've prepared a very special dinner." The dinner was a disaster of cosmic proportions. Pippin, tasked with entertaining the princesses, had accidentally mixed up the protocol. Instead of offering the traditional glow nectar, he had offered them mega gin from Willie's secret still. By the time Baxter miraculously recovered and burst into the dining hall to catch Sterling in an embarrassing act, he found the Sultan wearing Sterling's captain's hat, singing a bawdy space shanty, while the princesses were teaching the crew a dance from the spire. Sterling, Baxter shrieked. "What is the meaning of this?" You are debasing the dignity of the spire. The Sultan looked at Baxter with a cold, glowing eye. This man, the Sultan, pointed at Baxter, has no rhythm. He interrupted my favorite verse. Sterling, is this the man you said had the super-guard of the mind? I'm afraid so, Your Highness. Sterling said, with a wink. Baxter was escorted back to the infirmary by 2 burly guards. Chapter 4. The Case of the Cyber Gator. The final straw came when Baxter decided to set a trap using the outpost payroll, $62,000 in galactic credits, delivered in a secure titanium case. I'll leave the case in a vulnerable spot near the SC-73, Baxter told Carpenter. When those thieves take it, we'll move in with the scanners. The credits are marked with radioactive isotopes. They'll be caught red-handed. Baxter dropped the case near a swampy area of the outpost where the cooling pipes leaked. However, he didn't account for Sydney. Sydney was a cyber gator, a half-mechanical, half-biological swamp predator that the crew had adopted as a mascot. Sydney had a particular fondness for Pippin's peanut butter sandwiches. When Pippin went to the swamp to feed Sydney, the cyber gator was already chewing on something. "Hey, Sydney, what you got there?" Pippin asked, tugging on a shiny handle sticking out of the gator's mouth. "A wallet?" "No. It's a suitcase." "Oh boy, Sydney, you found the captain's missing luggage." Pippin dragged the case back to the ship, unaware that Baxter was watching through long-range sensors. "He's got it!" Baxter screamed. "Pippin has the payroll. Call a fitness board." "We're going to have a court-martial." The court-martial was held in the outpost's main hangar. High Archon Ignatius sat as the judge, his face as unmoving as a granite cliff. "Junior Lieutenant Pippin," Ignatius said, his voice echoing. "You are charged with the theft of the base payroll. How do you plead?" "Not guilty, sir," Pippin squeaked. "Sydney gave it to me." "Sydney?" Ignatius asked. "The cybergator, sir," Sterling explained. "He's a very honest reptile. He found it in the mud, probably dropped by a very clumsy, very high-strung Commodore. Liars! Thieves!" Baxter yelled from the prosecution table. "The alligator didn't find it. They stole it from my secure drop point." "Drop point?" Ignatius's eyes narrowed. "Why was the payroll at a drop point in a swamp, Commodore Baxter?" Baxter froze. "I was testing the security of the perimeter." "I object," Pippin shouted, standing up. "You can't call Sydney a thief. He's a hero. He even saved my peanut butter sandwich from a space rat once." Suddenly, a loud scratching sound filled the hangar. Sydney, the cybergator, waddled in, metallic scales clanking. In his mouth, he held another object, Baxter's actual wallet, which had fallen out during the drop point operation. The gator walked straight up to High Archon Ignatius and dropped the wallet at his feet. Ignatius picked it up. Inside was Baxter's ID card and a series of notes detailing his plan to trap the SC-73 crew using the payroll. The silence in the hangar was absolute. "Commodore Baxter," Ignatius said softly, "it appears the supreme test has revealed something after all. It has revealed that you are an incompetent schemer who uses the Navy's payroll as bait for personal vendettas." "Sir, I can explain," Baxter stammered. "Save it for your new assignment," Ignatius said. "You are hereby demoted to Waste Reclamation Officer at the Arctic Mining Colony, Sterling. You are commended for your creative management of the outpost. And Pippin, get that alligator out of here before he eats the evidence." Epilogue. The Last Laugh. A few weeks later, Captain Silas Sterling sat on the deck of the SC-73 watching the nebula swirl in the distance. The crew was celebrating their latest victory with a fresh batch of Willie's moon juice. Pippin walked up, holding a postcard. "Hey, Skip, we got mail from Baxter." Sterling took the card. It was a picture of a frozen, desolate wasteland. "Dear Acting Outpost Commander," it read, "having a wonderful time frisking on the sun-drenched snows of the North Pole. Can't thank you enough for setting me up like this. Please excuse the ink blots. My martini froze solid. Ever so fondly, Barnaby." Sterling chuckled. "You know, Puddles, I think he's finally found a place where his blood pressure won't be a problem." "Yeah," Pippin said, biting into a peanut butter sandwich. Suddenly, the ship's alarms went off. "Commander, incoming radar signature." Sterling grinned, adjusted his hat, and looked at his crew. "All right, you pirates. You heard the man. Battle stations, and hide the still." Chronicles of the Azure Archipelago, The Thorn in Sterling's Side. Chapter 1. The Garter Belt Crisis and the Faint Flu. The sons of Oceanus Prime, all three of them, were beating down on the Azure Archipelago with the kind of rhythmic intensity that made a man's brain feel like poached eggs. Inside the command center of Outpost Alpha, Commodore Maximilian Sterling was having what his therapist would later call a total systemic collapse of the dignity. "Wow, wow, wow, wow," Sterling shouted, his face turning a shade of purple usually reserved for dying stars. He slammed a requisition form onto the desk of his supply officer. "Garter Belts, Lieutenant. You are the supply officer of this entire oceanic quadrant. If the nurses on this floating tin can say they need garter belts to keep their sanity, you snap to it. You shake a leg. You do whatever it is people do when they aren't being completely incompetent." The Commodore clutched his stomach. His ulcers weren't just acting up. They were performing a 3-act opera. "What a war," he wheezed. "Everything is on my shoulders. The logistics of 1,000 islands, the plumbing of 100 barracks, and now the hosiery of the medical staff." Suddenly, the door burst open. It was Lieutenant Baxter, Sterling's personal sycophant, and a man whose spine was made of pure gelatin. "Sir, a message from High Command. Grand Marshal Leadglaze Kincaid is arriving today for a sneak inspection." Sterling's purple face turned a sudden, ghostly white. "Leadglaze Kincaid? The man who court-martialed a mess hall cook for having a suboptimal muffin-to-butter ratio? He's coming here. Now? Do you realize what a mess this place is in? The Petty Officers Club has sinks bucking up with prehistoric sludge, and the crew of Skiff 7-3 is currently running a gambling ring involving racing crabs." Sterling's phone rang. He snatched it up. "Yes, this is Commodore Sterling. Who did you expect? Tokyo Rose? The sinks are backing up? So what? I'm the commanding officer, not a plumber. Go tell it to a wrench." He hung up and began shoveling white pills into his mouth like they were candy. "My stomach acid could start a fusion reactor," he groaned. "Sir, please," Baxter pleaded. "Those pills give you indigestion. You'll be delirious when the marshal arrives." Sterling froze. A slow, wicked grin spread across his face. Delirious, sick, incapacitated. "Baxter, if I were truly ill, medically unfit for duty, I would have to appoint an acting base commander to deal with the marshal, wouldn't I?" "Yes, sir. But who? Not Lieutenant Thorne and his band of space pirates?" "Precisely, Thorne." Sterling cackled. "With Jax Thorne and his cutthroats in charge of the archipelago, they will run wild. They'll turn this place into a Roman orgy within 20 minutes. Kincaid will arrive, see the chaos, and Thorne will be shipped off to the spice mines of Kessel before the first sun sets. I'll look like a tragic victim of overwork, and Thorne will be destroyed. It's brilliant." Sterling let out a dramatic groan and collapsed onto his sofa. Chapter 2. Commander Thorne takes the helm. Jax Thorne was not your typical naval officer. He wore his uniform with the top 3 buttons undone. His hat was permanently tilted at a rakish angle, and he had a grin that suggested he knew exactly where the contraband rum was hidden. When he was summoned to the Commodore's bedside, he found Sterling looking remarkably healthy for a man claiming to be at death's door. "Oh, Thorne," Sterling moaned, clutching a damp rag to his forehead. "The doctors, they don't know. It could be space scurvy. It could be chronic competence syndrome. I'm in bad shape. I need an acting base commander. Someone brave. Someone expendable." "Well, sir," Jack said, stifling a laugh, "I'm sure Lieutenant Baxter here can handle." "Baxter is a boob," Sterling barked, then quickly returned to a moan. "No, it has to be you, Jax. And I'm appointing your bumbling second-in-command, Percy Pringle, as acting executive officer." Percy Pringle, a man who once managed to accidentally torpedo a passing school of bioluminescent tuna, beamed with pride. "Oh boy, did you hear that, Skipper? Acting exec. I'll get my whistle. Go to my office, Stone, Sterling whispered. That's an order. Take command. This minute, within the hour, Jack Stone was